decade, the thunderous roar of engines has echoed through the walls of Mount Smart Stadium. Now, Go Media Mount Smart, a battleground of legends, a crucible of speed, where triumph and defeat dance under the floodlights. In 2002, just 5 kilometres down the road, a group of passionate drifters came together with a dream. They forged what would become D1NZ, the heartbeat of New Zealand's drifting scene. It all began in those humble moments, igniting a movement that would captivate a nation of motorsport fans. The first champion emerged, driving a machine that would become the stuff of legends. A new era had dawned. Over the years, countless drivers and chassis have graced this iconic venue. Name any historic New Zealand drifter, they've carved their legacy right here. The sport keeps evolving, faster and more exhilarating. Now, the fastest growing motorsport spectacle in the world, filling stadiums. The rebels of motorsport, if you will. 10 audacious drift cars through Auckland's motorways and Queen Street, a feat never to be repeated, celebrating the life of passionate young fans, culminating in a police-escorted media spectacle at Mount Smart. Ah, the old days. It's a stadium that's hosted the world's biggest concerts, epic sporting battles, and you can just feel the relentless spirit of the Waz. And it's seen moments that define history. With glory often comes heartache. The monumental moment when Gaz Whiter sees the first ever podium for the stadium in his infamous SR-powered S14. Glowing victory skid that evening provided entertainment. Then to come the following years at the same venue, his 4th title, etching his name into the annals of New Zealand and global drifting history as one of the greats. And the global sensation, Mad Mike Woodette. A driver whose pursuit of the Drift King crown pushed the boundaries of what's possible. Though his journey took him to international heights, the echoes of his impact at D1NZ linger in that formidable year, with fans holding their breath for the day he might return. The glory of the greats, heroes like Rude, Woolhouse, Whittaker taking his own top step in 2011 in the green-eyed Rattler V834, Kelly, Reed and his one-wheeling finish, Pullenbury and so many more. Yet few stand as tall as Whiter, his legacy now matched by only one other, Fangadan.
Ah, Fangadan, the maestro behind the wheel of the Holden VZ and VY, and later, that formidable Mustang.
A titan of the track, his battles at Mount Smart are the stuff of legend.
Really fast through the centre section, pushing out really wide. Kurt just needed to tuck up on the inside.
Go Media Mount Smart Stadium bites. Its unique blend of night drifting, pyrotechnics and high-speed proximity challenges even the bravest. Spectacular moments like Drew Donovan's breathtaking Milwaukee S15 360 spin in 2014 against Stephen Soul. Only moments later to witness Phil Sutherland's jaw-dropping kick-flip barrel roll. Moments that leave the crowd in awe. And believe us, it won't be the last. Templeman, a legend in New Zealand motorsport through his own accolades. A 96 P1 and a top step in a 1,000 horsepower 2J monster. We can't forget the Australians. Coote, Lana, Jones, Fink, all have laid claim to take the stadium. With several locked in for 25, could we see the crown taken offshore? The sport surges forward, relentless and unyielding. The rebels of motorsport continue to inspire, to defy limits, to write the next chapter in an unending saga. After several years away from the venue, we saw Redwood take a flame-throwing battle against Jenkins for a return to the stadium. Lastly, in 23, it was Tukuro's Taylor James Championship title fight season and his monstrous 1,000 horsepower S14, taking the win with the walls over Woolhouse. A close proximity season between the two that would ultimately see Fangadan claim his 4th title. And now, It's your turn to witness history with the return of an iconic staple of New Zealand drifting proximity. It was always a sellout event with a new breed of motorsport rebels. Auckland Tamaki Makaurau. D1NZ returns to Go Media Mount Smart Stadium.
This event will sell out. Round 3 D1NZ, March 7 and 8 here at Go Media Stadium. The smoke show is back. You're going to want to be a part of it. No mai haramai and welcome to Go Media Stadium at Mount Smart on a beautiful Saturday here in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. It is an absolutely beautiful day. I've got to say, to be honest, it was a little wet earlier on today, but there's high cloud and lots of smoke. Stephen McIver with our lead commentator Warren's there. Oh mate, it's a good day on Championship Points Day, isn't it?
It's always a good day to be drifting here at Go Media Mount Smart, Stephen, but the boys have come out to play today and we're going to turn it on.
We'll talk about qualifying in just a moment. From what you've seen from qualifying, and we're going to do pro sport in just a moment, top 32, and roll ourselves along. What has been the biggest problem for drivers at a revised track of sorts?
Well, I think the biggest problem is always not following what the judges ask for, right? It's a judge sport, so you've got to follow what the three wise men want, not necessarily what you want. The second problem is probably a lot of these guys just aren't used to running around the walls like there are here at Mount Smart Stadium, so it maybe dents their confidence a little bit.
All right, let's talk about Corbin Wilson with Pro Sport. Suddenly, nowhere in qualifying yesterday. What went down last night?
Well, what went down, Stephen, is Corbin Wilson, position number 14. Gearbox dramas all night. The boys are still actually working on that car now to try and get it out there. Corbin Wilson has 180 points at the moment, leading the title, but there are just so many guys just within that reaching distance. Corbin's going to really have to fight through the tree today.
Yeah, Curtis Lilly looks good. So does Dean Young, sitting in P2 up the Taupo, but again, struggled in qualifying.
Look, the smooth old silver fox, Dean Young, I reckon he's playing a smart game. He knows to keep that car off the wall. He knows that you can't win this in the top 32. You can't win it in the 16. You've got to be there at the pointy end of battles. So I think Dean Young is playing the long game for this season. He really wants that title.
Blake Miles qualified Q1. How good for him?
Well, he doesn't hold back, does he? Blake Miles has qualified, I believe, Q1 3 out of 4 times that we've seen him in D1NZ. A real driver who is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He just hasn't quite managed to put it together in battles yet.
I'm going to say, looking at the pro sport competition and looking at them doing their practice runs, it looks like it's a really gritty championship this year, and it could be anyone's, even after just the 2 rounds.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I've been asked a lot, sort of as coming back into the championship, what is the thing that stands out for you? And it is how wide open the championship is this year. In past, you could probably look at it and say, look, there are 2 or 3 guys you think are always going to be there in that top 4, but this year it feels really wide open. I think there's 16 guys on any day who could win pro sport.
And just a reminder too, we've got a very special star, right? Drift Masters GP champion Lauri Heinonen is in the house, qualified P2 for D1NZ Pros tonight. Man, he just chucked it around the track last night, didn't he? This is a little bit of a teaser for 5 o'clock, by the way.
Jumalauta, which is the Finnish phrase that they use when they celebrate a great run. He taught me that last night. He came down, he just threw down so hard, but yet so smooth. Just a really, really talented driver, and fantastic to have him here in New Zealand.
It's going to be a long day. Just Dan, our cameraman, I just want to just swing around there, because look at this. 3 monster trucks, Taurus, Kiwi Thunder, and Reaper. They're going to be part of the entertainment spectacular tonight here, because coming up shortly, we'll go top 32, we'll go monster trucks, and then from 5, live on Oversteer TV, and also on Sky Sport from 5, we'll bring a D1NZ National Drifting Championship, and the pros will come out to play. Now, if you're unsure how the competition format works, take a closer look.
The 2025 D1NZ Championship brings together new elements and a new lineup of changes for the competition format. Each driver is scored on line, angle and style by 3 judging officials, with each judge given 100 points to play with all 3 scores now averaged across the 3 judges. Qualifying runs are now also back-to-back to keep the cars warm and on consistent track conditions. After qualifying, our drivers are then lined up in a seeded battle tree, ready for door-to-door competition. Drivers need to set or better their qualifying performance in the lead while maintaining the scoring criteria for each event. The chase driver's objective is to match or better the lead car's performance while trying to maintain close proximity. Our tandem elimination system has changed for 2025 with new scoring elements. Each official will now split their points across 3 battle scoring criteria, where drivers need to set both a lead and chase run, now scored out of 100. Each judge will now only score either lead, chase or style, with 100 points available for each official. The highest scoring drivers will then advance into the next round, battling through a top 16, top 8 and a semi-final top 4 before we battle for the final spots on the podium.
So there is the Reaper, the third of the monster trucks that will be on show tonight. Oh, they're going to put a bit of display. Got to say, Nick Hoyle joins me. He's going to be in the pits today, making sure that when we've got 5 minutes to hop 9 yards here, we are right on the spot. But my God, aren't they monsters?
Oh, mate.
Literally.
How cool are these things? The fans are in for such a show tonight. It's going to be so exciting, mate.
Okay, let's talk about the Drift Japan prize, because Pro, Sport and Pro get this Drift Japan prize. Break it on down for us.
Well, it's a really cool prize this year. I mean, in both categories, it's $15,000 for each prize winner. They go to Japan, fully paid for. They drift in on the tracks over there. They get all their meals, everything's paid for. And actually, the guys, Ben and Benkai, they're off on Monday for a test run.
It's a pretty cool prize. I mean, if you'd been drifting, would that be a big carrot for you?
Oh, mate. I mean, if I could drive and win that prize, that would. Oh, man. Hey, Benkai, I'm keen if you need someone.
I got to say, I have friends. In fact, I got a daughter in the Bisu track right now. They're tuning into Oversteer TV on YouTube and taking in D1NZ. Now, we know there are a lot of Finnish fans around going on as well. So, Drift Japan, the prize of Pro and Pro Sport. Here's what you get.
We're in Japan, we're on tour.
It is a hell of a prize, isn't it? The Drift Japan prize. And if you're in a pro sport, you'd be wanting to have a good crack at that. In fact, one of the pro sport drivers, Isaac Aldridge, has already just popped up. We might as well get a feel how he's feeling. Excuse me, lads, going to just check on Isaac's feeling about his first run today. So how are you feeling about the first run?
Well, I'm actually just about to go out for a mechanical lap because we put it pretty good in the wall, blew the axle apart, damaged the rear corner. So we'll go out and see how it feels. But for the most part, been feeling pretty good. So.
Talk to me about the track itself. They've changed the way, and the judges are ruling it on average as the whole 9 yards. How are you feeling about the track and how you're coping with it?
I think the track's probably a little bit more technical to drive compared to how it's been in the past. It sort of flowed pretty. It was sort of the natural line before, so a little bit more skill involved to get out to all the outer zones. But for the most part, it seems to feel pretty good.
Well, I hope she holds up, mate.
Yeah, that's the hope for us.
Good man. There's Isaac Aldridge going to go for mechanical shortly. We're not too far away from the Pro Sport Top 32. He's talked about the track. Let's take a closer look and see how it rolls.
Round 3 of the 2025 D1NZ Drifting Championship brings us to Auckland City Go Media Stadium at Mount Smart for the first of 2 concrete jungle tracks on the calendar and our second standing start of the season. The lead line will be in the left lane out of the start box, and it is the shortest track the drivers will run this year. A flat layout lined with concrete walls, an outside zone to start, and there will be penalties for excessive handbrake use. It's a short dab to settle the car after the initiation, and that is what the judges are looking for. This layout this year is all about a much wider line, changing the approach into certain areas. 8 outside zones with no inside clips make up the total layout. Time now to ride along with a virtual lap of the course thanks to Team Swarm on the simulator with D1NZ chase judge Benkai Brewer.
You're righty, so we're going to take off the line, we're going to wheel spin into first, into second, into third, and then grip up. Nice flick initiation. We're then going to fill the wall. See how we're going for a nice smooth arc now. Here's where it gets different. We're going for a full outer zone, into a switch in the middle, into another full outer zone. So you'll notice there are no inner clips on this layout. through here is what we call the setup zone. So they come out of there. We're going to switch really nice out of that zone. We're going to set power up through here, and we're going to set up for the next zone, yeah? So we'll call that a setup zone in there. There's no touch and go, no zones. This is a full zone here to fill, and then out to the wall, nice and hard to fill that zone again.
Our judges lineup for the weekend will see former D1NZ Pro driver Matt Kwok back in the hot seat, scoring for line and our lead runs for the event with 100 points on offer. Benkai Bruin from Drift Japan brings over 25 years experience in the sport and will be keeping a keen eye on angle as well as 100 points to work with as our chase judge for the weekend. Our final judge for round 3 is Tony Gallagher with plenty of sideways experience in the New Zealand Speedway circuit with a 50-50 point split for style, and that will be your track preview and judges lineup for round 3 of the 2025 D1NZ Drifting Championship Series.
So that's the track here at Go Media Stadium at Mount Smart. It's, many might say it's a rather large go-kart track. Well, in fact, it is a go-kart track because they run here go-karts in the midweek. But now it's a bigger go-kart track, and we're seeing these monsters roar around in Pro Sport. Top 32 coming, and of course the pros at 5 o'clock live on Sky Sport. If you're watching this on Oversteer TV in Japan or Finland or around the world, welcome to Auckland. It's a beautiful day here. We're not too far away from the top 32 in Pro Sport. You heard Isaac Aldrich with the Pro Sport drivers talk about the fact that, well, it's a little more technical. I think we've got our Benkai Bruin online at the moment. Benkai, they talked about the technical aspect of this track, and obviously all drivers are probably thinking about it's getting a little tough. I mean, how much tougher have the drivers said it is from your perspective? My apologies. So Benkai having a little problems here. It could be the noise. There's a hell of a lot of noise. All right, we're not too far away. We'll go to Warren and Kenny just to start warming you up. It is warming up here today. So how this one revolves around this afternoon, Warren, is... My apologies. I'm just going to stop right in the minute there. Director screaming in my ear. We do now have Benkai Bruin. Hey, Benkai, how are you, mate?
Do you want me to just go down to him? Oh, hello.
Okay. Benkai, you and I had a bit of a chat earlier on today. Let's talk about the technical part of the course. A lot of the drivers saying it is quite technical. From your perspective, having watched qualifying last night, where are a majority of the drivers struggling?
So the biggest area they're struggling for me is definitely on the entry. Some of the field have got it really good, some of them have got it really poor, and so they're not throwing in the entry in fast enough, and then that's pushing them on the inside, and so they're missing then part or all of the first zone. The next two sections where the guys are having the biggest issue is the setup zone in the middle here. So when you're coming around the second zone over there near the Drift Japan barrier, we're wanting these guys to carry a lot further than they normally would, and they're aiming to be mid-track. You'll notice that there's a couple of dotted lines in between sort of that red cone over there, and then the next ripple strip inner there, that's like a triangle. So in there, we're wanting them to position themselves in there and flick through. Now, if we watch this guy, he may do it properly. Let's see what the man himself, see? He's come on the inside. Now that's going to penalise him. He's missed the first zone. Coming out again. That's where he should be, switching well. Now he's on power. Very, very, very good. All the way out to the outside. He should hold his front wheel mid-track right there. He's going to switch right about now out wide to the ripple. He's going to get on power. He could have been a little bit wider there, and then he's going to flow the wall all the way around. So you can see even someone that is such an amazing driver, I don't even know if they can hear me anymore. They probably can't. Oh, they can? So yeah, you can see that someone as a legend as him, has made some small mistakes in the area. So this is an incredibly technical course. We are asking these drivers to be balls to the wall and on the outside line because it is conducive to a good chase.
All right, mate, that's really cool. The scoring system's changed a little bit, and we were speaking about earlier about today. And just quite quickly, we're now working on averages, so we're seeing a lot higher scores in 2025.
Yeah, so essentially we've got lead judge, Kwok, and he has 100 points to give. And then we have Tony, he is our style judge, and this man knows style, let me tell you. I'm the chase judge, so I have 100 points. Tony has 50 for both style and for lead and chase, right? So essentially, sorry, for lead and chase as a style judge, he has 50 points for each, right? So ultimately, Tony's actually like the guy that the drivers need to impress the most because he's the one that can sway the battle either left or right because we're very cut down the middle. If it's a good lead, it's a good lead. If it's a good chase, it's a good chase. But style can be many different things. So It's going to be a sensational event. The guys are driving incredibly well. We've had a lot of conversations with them to give them guidelines on what we want them to do, and we feel like the field is taking that on board and they're lifting this up. So I'm expecting some awesome battles.
All right, appreciate that, Matt. I know there's some drivers last night where Wink goes to a perfect 100 score, but we'll see how this one rolls. We're almost set to go for the first run in the round of 32, top 32 in Pro Sport and D1NZ live here at Go Media Stadium. Smart. This is the D1NZ National Drifting Champion. Kenny and Warren, it's all yours.
Oh, how good is it to have Stephen McIver back in the house. Kenny, legend himself within New Zealand motorsports circles, and I've got my breath back now. It was a bit of a hike from up the other end of the track there.
Yeah, we had to run all the way back across the track to get back into the commentary box, but it's great to be back here. Go Media Mount Smart. Look, we had an action-packed last night was crazy because we had the track fall apart, and if you're unaware of what happened at the track yesterday, part of the track had to be resealed with asphalt. So looks like we are.
So we're kicking off, Kenny.
We're kicking straight into it. So
Zach Green and Riley McEwen, the now 15-year-old in the four-wheel drive warehouse RX-7. And Riley McEwen's had a massive mechanical there. He is struggling to maintain any angle at all, and he is going to zero out straight away. Kenny and Tipuki Thunder. Zach Green, who you called it the swaggin' wagon yesterday, doing his job out front there. He is just laying that lead run down for Riley McEwen to try and close back up proximity-wise. But Riley having... Oh, now is he going to hold it off the wall? Oh, now they've both zeroed out. Now they've both zeroed out there, Kenny. So that'll be a 0-0 because neither of them completed a run. McEwen didn't really get going, but then Zach got all the way to the end of the course, and maybe his car shut down. I think, are we going to... Do we have replays? There will be a replay here shortly from GT Radial.
Yeah, so we'll take a look here, GT Radio replay. I don't know where Riley McEwen was going because he was well off the line that the judges required, and that's a 0 just hovering out there on the inner line, crossing the ripple strips. So that will be a massive points deduction, if not a flat-out 0 for Riley McEwen, trying to stay in the pocket. And I wonder if he's struggling for power, or the car's just too gripped up heading into the afternoon part of the session. The swaggin' wagon, as we called it, though, this is where it all went wrong for the lead, and that will be a 0 for Zach Green out in the lead as well. Unable to get the car hooked up through the last two outside scoring zones as we take a look at the second parts.
Yeah, Riley McEwen. Oh, Riley McEwen just about tags the wall. Zach Green, I think he got a little bit anxious there. He thought Riley was going to hit the wall, and he backed out of it, and that's caused Zach Green to lose drift, and this is an untidy start, Kenny, to the Pro Sport Top 32 here at Mount Smart, round number 3. And yeah, Zach Green's just choked up there again. He's having real trouble chasing Riley McEwen. Riley's not really giving him that flowing lead run that he needs. I would really struggle to judge this run, to be honest. I don't even know where this goes. I know that we've tried to eliminate one more times for the 0-0-0-0 thing. So
well, there's that. 2 zeros in the lead run. We'll take a look at the replay here. It might come down to the second pass, but of course if they can't split them, it will go to an OMT, and it gets hard to split battles when they become even on a second pass score like that, right? Because you've got the first lap that's pretty much thrown in the bin. Second lap, they've got to try and pick a winner out of the two, and sometimes that's just not going to happen. But take a look here with Riley. Not the best of lead runs, but perhaps in terms of his first run that we just saw, a hell of a lot better than where he was in the middle of the track. So
yeah, this is the point where we throw in the disclaimer too that Kenny and I are commentators. However, we couldn't do what these guys are doing, by the way. We're just here to try and guide you through the show. These guys are incredibly talented drivers. And we're just waiting for the result to lock in here. It is Riley McEwen going through, the now 15-year-old. He gets a top 32 win, and he is into the 16. However, waiting for him, Blake Miles, the #1 qualifier in the core civil machine.
So I'd say that result from the 0-0 score, and then Riley coming out and doing a much better lead run there. And it was sort of, Zach Green just really needed to be in the pocket straight off in the second lap. And really, it was a gamble from the both of them right on that second lap. So Riley McEwen, our scholarship winner for the 2025 season, 14 years of age.
He's 15 now.
15 now.
His mother and father did say to me this morning, look, just so you guys know, he has now turned 15, so he's getting older. We know that he won a couple of mini stock races last weekend. He's also a mini stock competitor. Mini stocks are something we run here in New Zealand for those tuned in from overseas. They're effectively a steel cage with a Datsun motor in them, and you have fields of anywhere up to 36 cars running around most New Zealand speedway tracks on dirt most Saturday nights. So Riley McEwen certainly keeping his eye in the game with plenty of motorsport. And here is Jordan Richards, who really surprised us last night, Kenny, with a fantastic qualifying run. He was sitting at Q1 for a long time last night and had a lot of support tuned in as well from as far away as Niue. But real international battle here as Paulo Tavares is tucked into the chase position in the BMW. Very unique setup for Paulo, trying to chase down the Senate Nursing sponsored S15 of Jordan out front. Jordan has been out of the driver's seat, Kenny, for 5 years and has decided to step back in. You could say that Senate Nursing, we were talking about it yesterday, it's an interesting sponsorship to have in the drift car. It is a family business that provide aged care and that type of service. So good to see Senate Nursing, a fresh new brand out there in Jordan Richards' car. Jordan Richards doing a good job out front here. Paulo Tavares is very shallow there in the chase position, Kenny.
Yeah, sucked in towards the inner line there, towards the end of the section. Take a look at the GT Radio replay and pick it apart a little bit more for you at home and here at the track. In fact, both cars sort of shut themselves out. I mean, the lead car shot to an inner line there too, so not quite out on that outside line that we're looking for, but the chase car doing a great job to actually emulate and modulate with the lead run that was given to him. The second half, or the back section of the circuit, a little bit better, but still not quite filling the zones that you're probably going to see the Pro Championship guys and the pointy end series competitor end guys in the Pro Sport Series later this afternoon as we boil down the top 32 here. Second pass action now. Paulo in the lead of the BMW.
E92 BMW chassis, I believe it is, with the, well, it does also have the, now Richards he's had a big wash there in the chase position, and that is going to impact him score-wise. It's just going to be a question of do the judges, no, he's run a wheel off inside Jordan. This is, we're having it is a wild start, Kenny, to battles here, keeping in mind, of course, that it is a custom-built track. These guys haven't had a lot of time out there in terms of getting dialed in, particularly in the chase position. And I think what we do find is a lot of them, they tend to battle against with drivers who are similar in speed and ability, and it does unsettle them sometimes when they maybe come up against a car who does something slightly different to what they expect, and that is one of the things we see a lot. So there is the big wash-up there.
That's the big wash-up correction, and a lot of steering input to recover that. So a great job nonetheless despite the error. And you're set heading to outside zone 5 into 6 through the setup zone. The chase car really trying to claw back some track position and get up on the door of the lead car, Paulo Tavares, in the BMW. The S15 doing a great job in the second half of the battle, though, to try and get up on the door, but perhaps pushing up a little bit too far up on the A-pillar.
What I'm wondering is if Jordan Richards zeroed out. Yeah, Paulo Tavares goes through. It is unanimous. Paulo Tavares goes through, and I'd say that I'd call that one an upset there. So Paulo Tavares gets the win there in the Tavares Motorsport BMW. Alpha Fire on the bonnet, and plenty of heat coming from underneath the hood of that car as well. Yeah, I wonder if Jordan Richards zeroed out there on that last one, Kenny, and that would be the deciding factor there. So
such a massive correction.
Yeah, one of the things, of course, that has come into for D1NZ this season too is the 3 strikes rule. So if you put 3 single wheels off at any point around the track over the ripple strips, etc., you can zero out your score. Now here is the, I call him the smooth silver fox, Dean Young. He's a very relaxed gentleman behind the wheel, but he's up against a tough opponent, Daniel Smith. We know that Daniel Smith and his team were working hard all night, Kenny. I think I heard right that Daniel Smith replaced an engine, then had to pull out the replacement engine, put another engine. But look at the wheel speed that Dean Young generates straight away, just smoking out Daniel Smith. But Daniel Smith coming back and attacking here, doing a good job in the chase position. He's a little bit shallow, maybe where he should be. But Dean Young is doing what the judges asked for. He is laying down that run out front that enables Daniel Smith to deliver something from the chase position there. Dan Smith has got real shallow there through the inside of UDC. And we are looking at an all-outside zone track today, Kenny. Outer.
Yeah, 8 outside zones make up the track layout, and it's a super wide line that the judges are asking for. Lots of concrete to deal with as well. And great to see Bridgestone New Lynn signing on with Daniel Smith on the 180 SX. Of course, Daniel Smith being a long-time member of the D1NZ crew, helping build the tracks as well as running the event.
Yeah, Digger Dan, as he's affectionately known by the crew. Nice job here in the chase position. I think this is here through UDC where he had the problem here. So I think he has run quite shallow. I don't know if he's
shallowed up, but he's tried to maintain angle to keep the fluidity and set himself up back through the setup zone here. But you'll see there, I just wonder how wide did Dean Young go there through the transition. He went super wide, and I just wonder if he left it a little bit too late. I know we want them wide through the setup zone, but I just wonder if he was a bit too late there, because it almost looked like he was heading off into the infield.
Okay, so just something that has just come over the Race Control channel. We know that there are a number of kids on site today. There are earplugs available for sale on the Heisuke Nagashima merchandise stand. So they do have earplugs for sale at $2 a pair. So if you do not have hearing protection with you and you need that for your children, there are earplugs available on site here at Go Media Mount Smart. Now, Dan is out front now, laying it down for Dean Young. But Dean Young is just down to business, Kenny. This is what we talked about earlier in the briefing show as we launched into the Pro Sport Top 32. Dean Young is just so controlled. He just looks and feels like a driver who's really ready to make that next step. Does Dean Young in the Watson Haulage sponsored S13 with the 1.5JZ underneath the bonnet, and both drivers bring it home. And hey, ladies and gentlemen out there in the crowd, let them know when they do a stellar job there. We know that the drivers love hearing that applause as they come back across the line. So we take a look at the GT radial replay, Kenny. Nothing wrong there with the entry from Dan Smith.
Pretty good there, pretty good job there from both drivers. Dean Young doing an exceptional job really in the lead, giving Dan Smith every opportunity to get in the chase, but I feel like he didn't quite match what the lead car was doing. But you see here Dean Young applying the pressure in his chase run, coming out of outside zone 5. That's the section there that was resealed last night, which actually had to alter the judges' line during qualifying last night, if you were with us on the live stream. And you'll see here tagging the wall is the Bridgestone 180.
Yeah, so something to keep an eye on later on tonight. It won't apply so much here in Pro Sport, but chase judge Benkai Bruin doesn't like a surgy type chase. He is very much in favour of a smooth type chase run, and that was pretty good there. Dean Young gets the win. Dean Young goes through the smooth Silver Fox. There we go. Dean Young gets through, gets the finger point. Digger Dan with the thumbs up out the window. Great to see Dan Smith just back on track there after suffering engine troubles last night. So that locks Dean Young in, and he matches up with Paulo Tavares in the top 16.
Yeah, good clean driving there from Dean Young. Certainly one of the heavyweight drivers to look out for in the Pro Sport 235 series. Of course, these guys limited to the 235 radial tyre. They do not run a semi-slick compound, and they do not run nitrous oxide. So this is a great stepping stone and a great championship in its own right for developing drivers as well as privateers who want to come out and have a bit of a play.
So Sam Rowson and Aidan Daly out of the RHP stable. Aidan Daly S14 with the LS motor and with the Sam Rowson with the old school Laurel Kenny. The true JDM classics that we love seeing back out here on the D1NZ tracks, reminiscent of the mid-2000s era. And Aidan Daly certainly starting to find his feet. He's pretty well mentored within that team, really, isn't he? He's got a lot of support to lean on and a very supportive crew behind them. Aidan Daly throwing down out front there for RHP. Sam Rowson needs to be closer than that, Kenny. He needs to really close up that proximity, because while Aidan's not really getting right out to where he needs to be on those outer zones, there's certainly nothing wrong with that as a lead run from a chaseable perspective. Plenty of speed there, plenty of flow, not choking up at any point around the track. So it'll be interesting to see how they switch over here.
Yeah, it was actually a really good entry there for Aidan and filling out that first two outer scoring zones. A little bit of a wash there. You'll see the front end of the cars. If you're looking for the minor details that the judges will be looking for, you always look at the front wheels of the cars, and it tells you a lot about the characteristics of what the car is doing and where the car is going to be heading. So you'll see here the car in the lead, just putting on a pretty good lead run there from Aidan Daly. And as you mentioned, we talked about it last night from the RHP team. It's great to have such a big, I think it's like 5 cars in total under the RHP banner out of that outfit. But then you've got one of those cars, a Pro Sport car. So you think about that knowledge and wisdom that gets shared, handed down to the younger generation as Aidan Daly lines up now against Sam Ralston, of course, in that four-door C33 Laurel. It's great to see the old Japanese four-door sedans back in the mix.
I'm still getting over you referencing wisdom and Sam Weston in the same sentence. Now, that was interesting there. Did Sam Ralston come across the track there on Aidan? I wonder how that was kind of an example of how far you should or shouldn't be.
Aidan's on for a doorbanger here.
This is what we talked about earlier, right? Aidan Daly has the benefit, and I think, was there a chrome tap there from Sam Ralston up front? Now, Sam Ralston's out nice and wide there through UDC, and Aidan Daly doing exactly what he needs to do there, tucking right into the pocket, maintaining that proximity with Sam Ralston, driving with him, just emulating what the lead driver's doing, and put your hands together as they come back round the straight. Aidan Daly cranks to lock. And this is just pro sport, Kenny.
It's a great...
And what a show. The level is going up.
Fantastic chase run there from Aidan Daly. And we're going to have to pick it apart now, though. In the GT Radio replay, great lead run as well.
Waver.
A little bit of a waver there, but certainly Aidan Daly looking for that pocket and trying to stick in it. Now, the problem is you don't want to shoot up too much past the A-pillar. You want to approach it up from behind. You don't want to get on it straight away. And you'll see here, Aidan Daly just trying to keep the car settled, flowing in that pocket. A great lead run here, too, from the C33 Laurel of Sam Ralston. The RHP machine in the chase, though, really just trying to hang in the pocket and apply the pressure through these last two outside scoring zones. Is it enough for Aidan Daly to push through there, or was there a penalty that has hurt him?
Oh, look, I'm not a judge, right? And we've got to wait for the lights. I think I'm leaning towards Aidan simply because there was such a big gap on the first run. I think even if the second one was judged pretty even, and it probably wasn't in the old school vernacular, it would have been one of those real close runs. But I think Daly certainly had the advantage on the first one. But I've been wrong before, Kenny. I've been wrong before, and there it is. Aidan Daly goes through. But this is what I love about pro sport, right? These guys are always so pumped and ecstatic for their fellow competitors, right? They just like seeing each other improve, and that is what development classes are all about.
Thumbs up from Aidan Daly, so he'll be back to the pits and servicing the car. Fresh new set of tyres ready for the next battle as we boil down the top 32 and into the 16 very soon.
All right, now this is an example of a perfect development battle. GK, Giovanni Kimitanga, who, as I've mentioned a couple of times, I met here as a 5-year-old back in 2012 when he was part of the Nico Reed crew as a toddler up against Cam Omblebray out of Wellington. Both drivers really just finding their feet in competition. Both drivers came out yesterday. They were pretty safe, pretty solid, and this will be interesting just to see. Cam Omblebray right in there. Better proximity than we've seen from him so far, and Gio makes a mistake there, hits a cone, and the judges will penalise him for that. Then you see Cam Omblebray go to the inside and put a wheel off, so deductions on both sides. Needs to avoid contact because Omblebray...
He saves it. He managed to save it.
He's just hit him with his front bumper and it's pulled him out of drift. I think he may have just thrown that away, Kenny.
He just about had that together through the last scoring zones. Cameron Omblebray trying to put in some aggression with the four-door C33. We'll take a look at the GT Radio replay. Giovanni in the lead, just not quite filling that first outer zone, but then gets out to OZ2, and here you'll see the yellow marker on the concrete roll there is OZ3. But check out this chase transition. Two very different transitions here, and then Cameron Omblebray trying to line up the lead car, which I think has knocked over one of the marker cones on the outer line. So it could be a penalty in the works for Giovanni. And then you'll just see that switch there through the setup zone from the C33 Laurel. And then just a little bit too close for comfort. Rubs the front end of the Laurel across the 350Z, and
what I think
that's cost him.
I think he misjudged the speed, right? Like the thing with Gio's car is that it was sort of maintaining the same speed the whole way through, and then Cam's got that turboed LS, I think it is, with the brand new Pulsar turbo on it, that causes it. He's just able to surge up, but he kind of misjudged that a little bit. So if you have just joined us on the broadcast, just bringing you up to speed with where we're at. We're in the Pro Sport Top 32 at the moment. We're only about halfway through the left-hand side of the tree at the moment. So Top 32 Pro Sports on track at the moment. We've still got the monster trucks coming up this afternoon, Kenny, and of course we've got the pros here for their Top 32 battles later this evening, which will really come to life when we go under lights, Kenny.
Yeah, we saw some pretty fantastic action last night under lights, even from the Pro Sport guys as well, because the schedule got changed with the track degradation problem that we had to fix. So we had to adjust the schedule. So we actually had a late night finish last night, but it was great to actually get 2 full qualifying sessions for both classes.
Look at the eyes on Cam Omlivray. He was locked in, wasn't he? I think that'd be a little bit of frustration, I think, from having surged up and made that mistake. He's going to pull that. Oh no! Oh, he smacks the wall hard, and that does impact the chase driver, because the chase driver effectively doesn't know at that point whether that car's going to get sucked around and whipped into the wall. So you really got no choice but there to play it a little bit safe, and that causes that difference there in proximity. Cam Omlivray, to his credit, has stayed in it, so that hyper-focused look on his face, the eyes, the Rocky-like laser focus from Cam Omlivray. Put your hands together for Cam and GK as they come back round the straight, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of young up-and-comers not holding back.
Cameron Omlivray just stacking into the wall, but he managed to actually hold it too. But when you get a big wall hit like that at a track like this on the concrete jungles, right here on outside zone 2, marked by those yellow concrete barriers, deep in the wall was Cameron Omlivray, but he managed to sustain it out the lead. And of course, a great job by Giovanni Kimitanga in the chase to actually just play it safe a little bit, make sure that the lead car isn't going to spin around or end up in a bigger wreck than what could be. So great job in the chase there, very refined, and then tries to close the door in the second half of the lap.
Yeah, so the more we see replays, right, Kenny, usually what is happening is the judges are a little bit split on their decision. They're just looking to see who's made mistakes there. I think what they're looking at there is how much the impact was of the first run versus this.
Because big impacts generally mean huge deductions.
Yeah. Okay, and going through, and you'll hear this reaction. Giovanni Kimitanga goes through GK, and he will have a fair amount of support here. There was a split decision there, though, Kenny. So Matt Kwok actually called in favour of Cam Omlivray. So a little bit. It's not dissension, but differences of opinion there amongst our judges, the three wise men.
You have to remember it's lead, chase, and style, right? So you've got the lead judge, the chase judge, and the style judge, which works over a lot of different factors, including throttle control, handbrake use, left foot braking, all those sorts of things. And you've got to apply all those penalties once you total those scores as well. And Cameron Omlivray, I think, just hurt a little bit too much with the contact with the wall and the lead car.
All right, so here we go. We take a look now at Darren Murray in the Jameson Civil entry, and he is up against Matthew Brown. And Matthew Brown just doesn't make that zone. Now, what is interesting here is that Darren Murray is going to have to complete this run, Kenny. You can't come out adrift, otherwise both will zero out. So unless Matthew Brown's still on track. Yeah. If Matthew Brown is on track, then Darren Murray won't be able to complete this run, so he will shut it down. But I think Matthew has made it out of the way. Darren Murray just got to play it smart here, keep it off the wall, and he will have a big advantage.
Tell you what, there's some immaculate-looking cars in the Pro Sport field that have turned up to the concrete jungle.
Okay, urgent housekeeping message. Vaughan from TTI. Vaughan from TTI, if you could go to the Drift Fox pits, please. Vaughan from TTI, if you could go to the Drift Fox pits. They need you urgently.
Just see on the replay there, just the amount of front wheel wobble on the front end of the S15. Just not quite settled on the first half of the section. And it looks like we are...
Yeah, we're live in the pits at the same time. So that is Sean, that's Corbin's dad. And they are working frantically to try and get that car out. So that is your number one on points at the moment in the Pro Sport Series. He is due up in...
He's on the other side of the tree, so he's
got... There's one battle to come.
Oh, wow.
Blair Gilman and Kevin Ryan, and then we're supposed to see Corbin Wilson and Luke Chappell-Sayer. So this is going to be all hands to the pump.
So that's an evolving story. We'll just cut back to these guys out on track now with Matt Brown.
Darren Murray's just lost his boot. We were just talking about how immaculate it is. It's still hanging on.
So panels coming off the car. The boot lid has come off the car, or is trying to hang on.
It must have broken, maybe something's broken. Oh, there it comes. It's come. The good part is it's come off. Oh, and then Matthew Brown's got out of drift, and there's a contact. So Matthew Brown's got out of drift, and that's caused a brief touch there from Darren Murray.
So that's a bit ugly from
and then
both of the guys.
Where did the cone come from? Who hit the cone?
Well, I'd say the boot lid flying through the air was probably collecting everything in its path. We'll take a look at the GT radial replay here. Huge disparity on the entry from both guys, just not where they need to be in terms of scoring zones. The lead car trying to get out to outside zone 3. And then the bootlids, now did that come off on its own, or did he actually tag the wall earlier?
My guess would be that someone's getting a talking to for forgetting to put a pin in.
So one of the pins has come out.
Yeah, I think it's a pin out. The way it's come out, it doesn't look, because usually you see them break around the mount. And I don't think there's no damage to a light or anything that you can see. And there it is, just sliding. And then Matthew Brown's out adrift, and that causes the contact.
So much of it was pretty much so much a big correction straight line from Matt Brown. I think he might have zeroed himself out in the lead there.
Well, yeah. Well, even if I think you're right. Even if they both zeroed out on the second pass, Matthew Brown zeroed out the first one. So probably reasonably easy decision to make.
Yeah, another battle pretty much swayed by technicalities or the rule book, and not necessarily good driving, unfortunately.
Right, now this is interesting. This is okay, and the result is coming through, and it is, as we called it, Darren Murray goes through. Darren Murray. So Darren Murray goes through, and he will battle Ryan Parry. And we have Blair Gilman on the line, and he's waiting for Kevin Ryan. Now, Kevin Ryan's just sitting there, not quite in stage. Blair in the Landmark Homes entry is ready to go.
So Corbin, Wilson, and Luke Chappell-Say are next up after this battle, right?
Yeah.
So the only other battle outstanding in the 32 will be Tyler Knowles and Chris Mildove. So that's going to be an evolving story for Corbin Wilson, of course, leading the series points, and they've got massive amount of parts underneath the car. Action in the pits happening at the moment as we take a look at this next battle.
Yeah, Blair Gilman for Landmark Homes in the S14. Kevin Ryan, newcomer to the series, also another ex-Speedway driver. Kevin Ryan's had a lot of challenges just getting that car to hold angle. We saw him qualify last night, and he zeroed out both passes with mechanicals. So it would be great to see a result coming here for Kevin Ryan. The car does look healthier at this point than it did look last night, but Blair Gilman doing nothing wrong really out the front. Oh no, and that's my fault. I did that. My bad. Sorry, Blair. That's called a commentator's hex. I was just saying that Blair Gilman was doing nothing wrong, and then he has just looped it right round. So stand by for the angry fan mail from the Landmark Homes team.
We'll take a look at the GT radial replay. Blair Gilman out in the lead, qualified in 10th last night. Of course, Kevin Ryan in the chase, qualifying in 23rd. Super shallow in angle and line for the chase car, and Blair Gilman not quite getting the entry right as well. Tries to get out to this outer zone here. Front bar missing off the car, so you really get to see the front steering work.
Yeah, and right about here, I open my big mouth and watch what happens.
Which is a shame, really, because he's actually out on that wider line that we were looking for initially, but he just didn't get the transition right, and he's just swung out and over-rotated. It's almost like he didn't get enough steering input in the car, or just didn't catch the momentum, didn't get his timing just quite right. Yeah. It looked like Kevin Ryan trying to bang through the sequential gearbox. It looked like he was trying to get back into gear.
Yeah, that'll be okay. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because it's a big advantage, but under the new scoring system, obviously, strange things can happen. So Kevin Ryan's got to put this together, and he's got to get himself a decent score here. Otherwise, we'll be separating on minor points of difference, Kenny. So Kevin Ryan out front. This is definitely better from Kevin Ryan. Now looking much more comfortable now. And did I just do that? No.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rubber's racing. The lead car's held onto it, so that's going to just throw more massive favour to the lead car. But did he slow up, or was there a problem there for the lead car? So we'll have to unpack it a bit more as Blair Gilman tries to get back up on the rear quarter of Kevin Ryan. What was going down the back section there?
Yeah, let's take a look at the GT Radial replay. GT Radial, the official tyre of D1NZ, sponsoring the replays here. So, yeah, the question, Kenny, that you're rightly raising is, are there any major speed differentials, or as Judge Benkai Bruin focused in on this morning, anything? Oh, so he made a mistake. The waiver. Yeah, so he made a mistake. And that caused him kind of to have to go again.
So he may not necessarily be at fault.
But is that enough to... I don't think that's enough to zero out the first run.
No, it was...
Blair looped the first run.
Yeah, it was a correction, but it wasn't sort of a straight line or anything like that. But a waiver enough to perhaps upset the chase car and causing that contact down at outside zone 5.
Let's see how this falls, Kenny. Wait for it to lock in, and you will see Stephen McIver point towards the victor, and here they come sliding in the result, and it is... I don't know, because that's the...
I'd say that would be Kevin Ryan, but that graphic is wrong.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to say that just because I want that confirmed officially.
So it looks like we've had a technical drama there.
It is Kevin Ryan. Kevin Ryan gets the win. Kevin Ryan in the bold signage sponsored S13. Congratulations, Kevin Ryan, your first victory in the top 32 of Pro Sport.
It's a bit of door banging action already in the Pro Sport top 32. We're just in the preliminary stages, really. We're about to head into the top 16. A couple battles left to go, but I do wonder if we can get an update from the pits of what's been happening with Corbin Wilson.
Well, the question is, has Corbin Wilson made it to the grid, or is he calling maybe his competition 5 minutes, in which case I'm not sure if we will advance forward or not, because we do still have Tyler Knowles and Chris Mildove to go.
Yeah, so they would, if he does call his 5, we can run the last outstanding battle. But then, of course, that puts a...
everything stops, right?
Everything stops and puts a time limit on Corbin Wilson and Luke Chappell-Sayer. So,
well, Corbin would have to call his 5 now, and you'd be hard-pressed to think that we wouldn't get a result out of Tyler and Chris within that 5-minute period. So I don't think the actual impact to the program would be too much. We are in the top 32 of the D1NZ Pro Sports at the moment. So that is Tyler Knowles pulling up into the stage. That is Chris Mildove there in the Horizon Tyres sponsored 32. We have Luke Chappell-Sayer in the 12 AM Drift A31 Safiro. And where is Corbin Wilson? I wonder if we can... We are going to... Okay, so we are going to move forward into the Tyler Knowles Chris Mildove battle. So I would say Corbin Wilson will have had to notify the team that he is doing repairs. That will cause a comp 5 minutes, and basically that clock will start running, Kenny, as I understand it, from the period, from as soon as the crew place hands on the car. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, what happens if the crew is already in the process of repairs? Does it effectively start from as soon as the official gets there?
Yes, it'll start as the official gets there when that call gets made, and 5 minutes has already been started. So advantage somewhat that they've already got the car up on the stands, and of course they have to have the stands underneath, or they'll certainly get a penalty post-event.
Yeah, so that is the Drift Fox crew working frantically underneath the car. That's one of the team from Speed Lab there. That is one of Corbin's other mates just on the banners there. You can see there what Kenny was just referencing there. The axle stands are underneath the car, so it is safe to complete these repairs. We know that it's a TTI gearbox that they're looking at as we watch Chris Mildove and Tyler Knowles accelerate off the line. It is Tyler Knowles in the lead position, Chris Mildove in the chase. Tyler Knowles for Carter's Tyres, Carter's your building partner and Friends Motorsport, and Chris Mildove, big straighten up from Mildove, and he's got out of drift there. He's going to reinitiate, but that will probably be a 0 there for Mildove. Now Tyler Knowles has to complete this run as he is the lead driver. There is a difference if you're the chase driver and that happens out front of you. You don't actually have to complete that run, to my understanding, Kenny. So there's a wheel off the inside there from Mildove as well. So Chris Mildove making hard work of this battle appearance here in the 32. So as we look at the replay, nice there from Tyler Knowles out front, making his competition debut here at round number 3. Wasn't able to get to rounds number 1 and 2.
Now Tyler Knowles done quite a bit of driving in the MSC as well.
Yes, he has, yeah. A little screen there, Kenny. So that is Corbin Wilson there, standing alongside his crew as the officials are timing. I'm not sure if we're able to get a shot of how much time has elapsed at the moment. So there it is. 3 minutes running down. So 3 minutes 20 to go. Yeah. Can you repair a TTI gearbox in that time, Kenny?
Well, it depends what they did, and whether it's just a gearbox mount, or what's actually the issue with the car, or whether there was a problem with the mating of the clutch and clutch flywheel combination, the bow housing. So we'll take a look at second run now, though. Evolving drama in the pits there for our championship leader.
Yeah, that's a huge story in the context of points, given we've already seen all the other drivers who are in the top 4 advance into the 16. So that will have very serious implications on the championship as we work our way through. Oh, no, he's got out of it. Tyler Knowles is shut down. Tyler Knowles has shut down now. Is that a 0-0 or what will happen here? Now, what I think Chris Mildove, if he can complete this run, he may have the advantage here because he's been able to lay down possibly the cleaner lead run. So it's really going to come down to how does the lead judge apportion the scores here, because style-wise it's probably pretty, I mean, it's pretty even, but yeah, in the chase position. So, oh, this is, okay. So this is interesting. So we've got Corbin Wilson in car and belts going on. So Corbin Wilson's in the car and the belts are going on. There is 2 minutes to go. There is 2 minutes to go. That is Sean, his dad. He's in the ear of Corbin, just trying to settle the nerves down.
He's looking pretty comfortable actually too. They've got some time up their sleeves.
Go down to Stephen McIver and see what he's got for us down there. Maybe a little information.
So we wait the decision here for so Tyler Knowles, Chris Mildove. One more time.
That's a one.
And I did wonder if that was where it was going to head, because I think both guys made some pretty serious corrections.
All right, we're going to go down to Nick in the pits with an update on what's happening with Drift Fox.
Okay, team, it looks like we are going to be getting very, very close. We're inside the last 60 seconds. Yeah, inside the last 60 seconds, from what I understand. The boys are working really, really hard. They've had an issue with the selector getting things in and out of gear. Where he is. Can you give us a little update? What's been happening under there?
It's been a bit of a challenging weekend. Yeah, the gearbox has been giving us grief this morning, and yeah, the boys are trying to get it all back together, but yeah, it's just been a bit of a struggle, but they're doing their best, but I think we might be out of time.
Yeah, you've come all the way from Gisborne, and obviously after the last round, it was, you know, this round's important to you guys.
Yeah, it is, and it's been a challenge, but hey, this is motorsport, and yeah, you just got to go with the situation and deal with it, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty tough.
It looks like we're out of time. We'll just see how Corbin's... Sounds like we're out of time, Corbin.
Yeah, no, a little bit disappointing, but that's all good. It's probably the most we've worked on the car the whole time we've owned it.
Yeah, it looked like you were really struggling in qualifying yesterday. Not left foot brake. What was happening there?
Oh, it was the same thing as today that we're trying to fix. I got stuck in third gear and it wouldn't shift into the gear I needed, so didn't have enough wheel speed to actually hit the corner.
Oh, mate, that's a real hard luck. But look, Manfield's coming up. We'll be back out there.
Yeah, no, we'll try to get it sorted and we'll get back out there. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. We're going to go back to you guys in commentary.
I could feel Sean's pain in that interview, right? Like, as a dad watching his son, they've worked so hard. Like, we know how much effort that family team puts in to come all the way from Gisborne to each and every round. They're very, very differently located to pretty much every other team. So this is just basically call it a coronation run for Luke Chappell-Sayer. So Luke Chappell-Sayer just has to complete his lead run here, and that locks him into the top 16, and that is our field set, Kenny. So, oh no, sorry, we have our OMT, don't we? We've still got Tyler Knowles, Chris Mildove. So at the moment though, just because we are just watching a solo pass, we do have Blake Miles locked in versus Riley, Paulo in against Dean Young, we've got Isaac Aldridge against Aidan Daly, Daniel Edwards against Giovanni Kimatanga, Ryan Parry against Darren Murray, Curtis Lilly against Kevin Ryan, Guy Maxwell and Luke Chappell-Sayer, and then Jason Wu waits for the winner of Tyler Knowles and Chris Mildove. So again, just a replay here of the bye run for Luke Chappell-Sayer, and
Team 12 AM Drift.
Yeah, and that's actually odd. So that's actually going to be the best result so far for Luke as well, because he's in his first season, so he's through to the 16.
Another great example of the old school Japanese four-doors A31 Safiro.
Now, it's what's always interesting is to see how someone comes back. I'm just going to go back to our earlier breaking story about Drift Fox being out. What is interesting is always how you come back from those types of things. So here we go. We take a look at the battle tree now, and moving into the top 16, we have Blake Miles against Riley McEwen. It is Paulo Tavares against Dean Young, Isaac Aldridge against Aidan Daly, Daniel Edwards against Giovanni Kimitanga, Ryan Parry against Darren Murray, Curtis Lilly versus Kevin Ryan, Guy Maxwell against Luke Chappell-Sayer, and then we have Jason Wu awaiting the winner of Tyler Knowles and Chris Mildove. So we haven't quite completed the 32 yet. Kenny, one more battle to go. Little look at our crowd here, enjoying the atmosphere here at Go Media Mount Smart. Hello, Jake. Hello, Jake. Oh, there's Jake from Texpan Drift and a few other regular drift fans up there. Some outstanding haircuts up there on display. Plenty of Pantene going on up there from the boys and girls. There's a few of you maybe that might be follically impaired up there, and hopefully you guys have got a hat and some sunscreen. If you don't, there is sunscreen available from the Lily World Bar. And here's a look again at Riley McEwen, and he is going up against the number one qualifier, Blake Miles for Core Civil.
So being on the opposite side of the tree, we are able to run the next battle, I assume is what Race Control has put forward to the line here.
Okay. All right.
And
so
Blake Miles, there he is. So this is it.
All right, so
into this top 16.
On we go.
First battle of the top 16 about to get underway. It is Riley McEwen, our scholarship winner for 2025. His first ever season competing at the national level. Just 15 years of age, up against Blake Miles.
Now, why is that so slow off there? Now, Blake Miles should be leading, but that is a major there for Blake Miles, the number one qualifier. Now, it did not accelerate away, and then has he found a gear now? But it's just, it's not gonna. So Riley McEwen's got nothing he can do here.
He's got no power. It's not.
Just doesn't want to go.
He's kicked some life into it now, so.
But
he's left the line under his own power, so...
He has, and then he's failed to initiate.
But he's failed to initiate, so...
So Riley McEwen doesn't really have to do anything here.
It may in fact be a 10-0, or under the old system would be a 10-0 advantage to Riley McEwen being in the chase position, so... We'll have to unpack this a little bit further.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen this, isn't it? Because we haven't seen anyone come off the line and then not initiate like that yet, so...
Big dramas for Blake Miles, straight off the line.
So let's see what happens as they switch. Now, the question becomes, can Blake Miles mount a chase here? Or what's happened there for the Core Civil team? Core Civil, of course, been long-term supporters of drift drivers in New Zealand. Last seen on the PB machines last year, I believe it was, and also on the side of the Daniel Edwards car, also competing in Pro Sport.
I am wondering if there's perhaps a bigger story to this, and maybe he's trapped he's only trapped in one gear. Perhaps he's lost gears and they were trying to launch the car in second or third or something, something strange like that, or perhaps a driveline issue.
Yeah, what the drift grapevine is great at telling us is what's going on. So here we go. There's Riley McEwen taps the wall on entry there. Blake Miles looks like he's got it going again, Kenny. So it doesn't look like there's any problems here. So maybe he's been able to dump it off the line, figuring out what the problem is here, and then he's just keeping it in one gear. And now he's just got to keep that turbo spilled up, keep the flow going, and keep it going here. Blake Miles doing what he can here to try and run down young Riley McEwen at 15 years of age, the scholarship winner. And Riley McEwen, is he going to hold this out round the wall, or is Riley McEwen going to go through to the top 8 for the first time potentially? And that is going to be a story in itself, Kenny. So I think we will probably check in with both after we take a look at the replay. Really curious to know.
Takes the wall on entry. It was a great entry there from Riley McEwen. Full commitment, little dab of the handbrake after the wall tap, just to settle the car out nice and wide from both of these guys. But you think about the chase car, he had such a he didn't get off the line, he didn't initiate his lead lap, so now he's doing everything he can to get on the door and put on the best chase run he can possibly can to try and force an error out of the lead car. But I just wonder if Riley's got this in the bag, or has Blake Miles done enough in the chase. But I feel like he's just a little bit too far up the inside, up on that A pillar on those last two scoring zones.
Yeah, really going to be very interesting here. Is McEwen on to march his way up the tree, or is Blake Miles, the number one qualifier, going to get the call? Waiting for the judge's decision. Let's go down to Stephen and see what Blake's got to say.
Okay, we don't have a decision yet, but Blake, got to ask what happened on the lead.
Electronic throttle body sat down, so as soon as I left the line, I had no throttle. Had to turn the car off, turn it back on, and then the steering wouldn't turn on. Had to turn the steering on, and then it was all over from there, really. So
could be Prosley, right?
Yeah, out of our control, but what do you do?
Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. We'll talk to Riley in just a moment, our scholarship winner. Could he be about to produce the biggest upset of the weekend so far and take the #1 qualifier out? But we don't know yet. Sitting and waiting. Judges told me they made fast decisions. This is getting a bit longer, isn't it? Tough one to call. Riley's eyes are lit up, you can see them. They're sparkling. Do I get the win? Do I get the win? Opposite side, Blake not so happy, but he gets it. He understands what the game is all about. So still waiting on the judges for a decision in the first of the top 16 here in pro sport.
So they'll be, I think they might be just double checking the lead, what happened in the lead and chase, and just crossing the T's and dot the I's on the rule book, because of he left the line under his own power. He obviously had the throttle body issue, but he's left the line.
Yes. So he's
and failed to initiate.
Yeah, failed to initiate.
So it would hand the advantage to the chase car.
Yeah. And Riley's got no way to initiate or begin a drift because he's going so slowly that effectively he would be penalising himself by using up his own tyres with an unchaseable run. So what we know is that the judges are able to... Oh, the call has been made. Here it comes, Kenny. It is a Riley McEwen going to the 8. Riley McEwen goes to the 8 at 15 years old.
Okay. It would be fair to say at 15 years old, congratulations on being our scholarship winner. You've just dumped out the top qualifier.
Yeah, feels good. Yeah. Yeah, good battle. He's very good. Just sucks he had that mechanical, but yeah.
So now it's top 16, first crack. What's going through your head now for the next round?
Yeah, just fucking do the same again. Lay out a banger lead lap, and then just try and get a good chase.
Yeah, mate, remember it's P13, P18, no F words, right?
Oh, my fault.
Come on, mate. You're talking to the old boy.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. Go get it.
Well, it's probably his first ever interview, right? And he's dropped the F-bombs at
well, I'm actually just, to be fair, I'm happy that it was Riley first and not me that Stephen told off. But it's all a bit of a learning experience for the young fella. Four-wheel drive Warehouse's main sponsor, and Good Ride tyres on the side of that beautifully prepared Series 4 RX-7, 400 odd horsepower underneath the bonnet of 13B power. So Riley McEwen finds his way to the 8 for the first time as we see so this is the last of the one more time battles from the 32. This is Tyler Knowles leading Chris Mildove. So this battle, I would say Kenny zeroed out, I think is probably the way that we've ended up with this OMT type result, with both drivers making mistakes, and it will come down to this battle to see who goes into the top 16 against Jason Wu. So lined up here, Tyler Knowles for Carter's, your building partner, and Chris Mildove for Horizon Tyres. They are under the control of the one and only launch master Willie.
So this is the last battle in the 32, filling that last slot in the 16 on the right hand side of the tree.
So there is a lot on the line, obviously, so from time to time there are various reviews, etc., that take place in terms of the DSO type systems, etc. But underway we go with the one more time battle. Again, Mildove to that inner shallow angle there, and he's out of drift. And it seems like he's struggling in the chase position to really find that level of comfort. That can happen sometimes as you step up.
Massive handbrake
he's going to pull it up. I thought he was going to slide out into the wall there.
Massive handbrake drag from the lead car, and then that's obviously upset the chase car in behind, but
I think he was heading wide anyway. It looked like he was kind of messy and offline anyway. I think they're independent of each other. They just happen to be happening at the same time.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like the chase car's hurt himself there on the through the first couple of scoring zones. We'll take a look at the GT Radio replay here, and just way up on that inner line, potentially even dancing with the white line on the inner ripple strips, and then straight and reinitiate. So that would be a 0 for the chase car, and the lead car just out in front just needs to finish the run, right? But you'll see just here, massive handbrake drag, which is just unusual place to do it.
Oh, so you might have been right there, Kenny. So maybe that lead car checked it.
He's dropped a wheel on that inner ripple as well. I guess it's going to come down to whose mistake was worse, and at what point of the track. Did the lead car zero himself out up the back section by doing that big handbrake drag and then cutting up on the inside of the track?
Yeah, but then we know that there was already a straighten up and almost a 0 from Chris Mildove right on the first point of initiation. So let's see if we can find a result here and resolve this battle one way. Oh, Mildove, he's straightened up again and he's got out adrift. Having real problems is Chris Mildove. Tyler Knowles just really has to drive this home now and not make any mistakes, and he should be able to get himself through into the top 16. So let's get. I sort of feel a little. Let's get this one in the bag. Let's move on through the field, because we have already had the first of our top 8 competitors lock in. Keep it going, Tyler. Keep it going. So that is Tyler Knowles and Chris Mildove done, and I believe we're going down now to Nick in the pits with some information for us. No, we're going to take a look at the GT radial replay first, and there's that big understeer, and down to Nick we go.
All right, guys, I'm down here with Darren Murray, and it's a bit of a role reversal because Darren's been crewing for the PB boys for years, but right now they're changing your diff.
Yeah, they're giving us a hand, getting us sorted so we can get back on track.
Your cousins, but tell me what's happened here. How come we're changing a diff this early in the piece?
I start coming back down the pit lane and it's just humming, man. It's broken, so we thought we'd change it now before we break it later on.
Yeah, mate, it must be really cool to have these guys, the current DK and his brother, changing your gear.
No, it's amazing to have the help and support from them and my team. Love it.
All right, mate. And you've got Ryan Parry. How you feeling about that one?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. He goes hard, so I'm keen to give it my all.
Awesome, mate. All the best. And we're going to come back to Stephen in the lane with the result of the last battle.
Let's quickly talk to Tyler Knowles. One more time, you're pretty stoked about that, buddy?
Mate, I blew second gear. I had that in the clutch the whole way around. Oh, that is the best feeling. My first round in D1, and it's been hard work, but yeah, so stoked.
Go get it, mate. There's still a long way to go.
Oh, let's go.
Well, great stuff there from Tyler Knowles. Of course, done a lot of laps in the MSC Drift Challenge, which is another 235 class, based out of Meremere, just south of Auckland. And great to see him also in the mix with the Drift Scholarship earlier, prior to the season starting as well. So another one of those scholarship entries.
Oh, there's a look at our crowd there, enjoying the atmosphere here at Go Media Mount Smart. Just hello there. You guys are right on the start line there, start-finish zone. Best view in the house. We are sold out, aren't we, Kenny? We're 100% full. We're at capacity. There's actually, are there any spare seats anywhere? I don't think there are, right?
Just an FYI to anyone that brought white clothing today. It's going to be probably thrown in the bin later on tonight.
I did put that public service announcement out yesterday. If it's white and you care about it, then don't wear it to D1. I wonder if we can, at some point too, we should have a look at the new bank area as well that we have available.
Yeah, you'll see there from the start line there up on the bank. So we've actually managed to put some grass down, put some scaffolding in, and it's actually opened up the bank area, which opened up a few more tickets, which pretty much got sold in one afternoon. So yeah, crazy to have a sellout event here at Go Media Stadium for round 3, and we're about to get underway here in the top 16. Dean Young, Paulo Tavares.
Yeah, Dean Young is a real force to be reckoned with in the D1NZ Pro-SPORT Series. He is a lot faster than a lot of these guys he's coming up against in the top 32, the top 16, etc. Is Dean Young, and Dean Young is just super smooth out front. He's just operating at that nice, comfortable level. He's probably got a couple of gears he can still go off as well in terms of when he comes into those battles later on in the evening. Paulo Tavares is doing a not too bad job there, but he just doesn't seem to have the car speed to hang on to Dean Young, who is actually doing a pro line. Yeah. Like Dean Young is hitting the pro line.
He's like
right along the wall there, Kenny.
He is just definitely hitting that pro line, and he's actually committing. Like his earlier runs that we saw earlier, he was actually really out wide, and he doesn't. I don't see many drivers out wide transitioning on the return like that. So Dean Young really putting on a great drive out in front of the S13, the Watson haulage machine.
Yes, and we know that sponsorship was done fairly rapidly over the course of a week. Dean Young was looking around for backing just prior to the season, and Watson haulage dialed him up and said, hey, we're happy to back you for the D1NZ Pro-SPORT season, but how good is it to watch Dean Young running the pro line? he's stepping it up and really I think he's throwing that gauntlet really to his fellow top contenders.
I do just wonder though that, like, heading into outside zone 3, is he pushing too wide?
Back we go. Kenny Tavares in the lead position with Dean Young in the chase. Now, how does Dean Young approach this one here? He knows he's got the car, so he's got to be careful about. We saw in the first battle that he had in the 32, his car is so much faster, it almost looks a bit choppy as he surges up. So I think he's just got to sit far enough back that he doesn't get trapped into a mistake or end up somewhere on the track he doesn't want to be. That's smart there from Dean Young, just falling back, just letting Paulo transition through that zone there. And then Dean Young reels him back in. It's almost like Dean Young's taken a game fishing approach, right? Let it have a little line, reel it back in, let it have some line. The smooth silver fox doing what he does.
Let's take a look at the GT radial replay here. Long handbrake drag though from the lead car of Paulo Tavares, and then just sets him up on the wall for the outside zone 2, tries to push out to 3. You'll see the yellow markers on the concrete walls. The big yellow concrete barriers are your outside zones, and they come through here, which is an outer line heading to OZ5. And look at Dean Young just hunting, lurking in the pocket, trying to get up on that rear quarter. And then, like you mentioned, he switched sort of where the pro guys are looking for, and just committed to that line. He didn't really care too much about what the lead car was doing. He just stuck to that transition. And looks like we've got action in the pits here. Smart Steel Buildings recovery crew straight into action.
Well, they were enthusiastic about getting there, weren't they? So the drivers have all been told just to make their way to recovery if they sense at all that there may be a fire issue. So
these guys, I think, use CO2 down on the grid. They don't use the powder. Of course, the powder over the years does a lot of damage to motorsport cars. If you do catch fire, it gets into the motor and it really wrecks the chassis as well.
Having had a rod come out the block before, it's not fun when it catches on fire.
Okay, so Paulo Tavares is just looking at his car come out. He actually said, "Hey, guess what? I'm on fire," for all the wrong reasons. But it's everything out. What was something? Oh, yeah. Hey, Paulo. What the heck's going on, pal?
Oh, I'm on fire, man. That's all I can say.
What did I tell you? I mean, what did you make of your own run?
Well, was really good to drive it. As you guys may know, I haven't had any practice this morning. It was so good to be out there and do some battles this afternoon. No practice. We go for it. We send it hard.
Haven't got the result yet. Be settled.
It is what it is. I'm happy whatever comes out of it.
Love your attitude, mate. Love your attitude.
That's us.
All right. Let's see if the judges might have made the decision here, have they? Pardon? Okay.
So it looks like they'll probably just wait to secure the car, and then we can get the result.
Sorry, lads. I'm having a chat with the director, but I believe Dean Young gets the win. So we'll wander up. You got the win, buddy. Congratulations. It was a lovely lead and a lovely chase. A lot of compliments about your pro line.
Pro line, I'll take it, man.
I mean, you look good. You look good this weekend. And what, P2 in the championship coming to the weekend? You must be feeling just right about yourself and the car.
Oh, the car's feeling awesome. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, I guess.
Well, go keep doing what you're doing. Well done. You're through.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Well, a spicy end to the Dean Young Paulo Tavares battle. Of course, Paulo, I think the only driver and probably maybe potentially the first driver in D1NZ to actually run the M54 B30 BMW.
So sorry, Kenny, I'll just jump over the top of you there because I'm watching Adam Davies in real time on the phone to his tuner. So this is how far ECU Tech has advanced. He's on the phone to his tuner, remotely diagnosing the 20B rotary for Team DSR. So this is a big developing story because Adam Davies qualified last night with effectively 2 zeros, and he won round number 2 at Mount Smart. So that is a big developing story in the pros. What time are we scheduled for pro tonight? Kenny, about 5, is it?
Yeah, so he would be the leading Kiwi as well in the series points title. And he had a shocking night last night in qualifying, leading the points for the Team New Zealand essentially against the Australians. And yeah.
All right, so back to our crowd there, enjoying the activities here. Emma, hello, you're on. Yes, you're on TV. You can wave. We did the. Should we do kiss cam again? We did kiss cam last night. That was kind of fun. Does anyone want to do kiss? Anyone going to volunteer? Oh, the mana waves. We're going to throw the mana waves at Willie. Throw the mana waves at Willie. We've got one car on the line. It is Isaac Aldridge, but throw the mana waves at Willie because he loves them. Willie loves a mana wave. Let Willie know that you appreciate what he does.
Well, we've got a really good matchup here.
Also, a public service announcement. The pro drivers in the Lilyworld bar at the moment doing a poster signing. So there are drivers in Lilyworld at the moment doing a poster signing. If you want to go and get posters, stickers, etc., then there are drivers in the Lilyworld facility at the moment, which is behind the end grandstand. If you want to go and attend the driver signing. So Aidan Daly, Isaac Aldridge, two drivers who know each other reasonably well from the MEC Development Series, competed at Mary and Isaac Aldridge flirting with the wall. We saw this last night, Kenny, from Isaac Aldridge. He was a driver who really got aggressive in qualifying. He's sort of one or the other, right? He's either super safe or he's just 100% plums. I think that's the phrase we've been using. Plums to the wall. So this is definitely one of those more aggressive runs from Isaac Aldridge, who just is a driver that comes to life in battles. But coming to life is what Aidan Daly is doing. The young man out of RHP, Aidan Daly.
What a run from both of these guys. You say they've done a lot of laps together in the MSC Challenge, but you'll see here Isaac Aldridge just pushing White, filling those outer zones, and then tags the wall ever so slightly, gives it a kiss, flying through into the midsection. And you'll see both cars just slight little wavers. You'll see a little handbrake dab there too, but it didn't upset the chase car because Aidan Daly was hungry. He was keen for it to get up on the door of the leading BMW, the RHP S14. And look at him just trying to slot in the pocket there on the return wall rides. Hopefully he hasn't just bitten too much of the apple and shot too far up on the inner. He could have held back just a fraction. Of course, the chase car can use a lot more handbrake, a lot more left foot brake. They can do a lot more things in the car compared to what the lead car has to do. So we'll take a look at the second pass now.
Well, the gauntlet's been thrown now because Aidan Daly was very close proximity-wise to Isaac Aldridge, but Isaac Aldridge did lay down a lead run that was very good and very chaseable. So it's going to come down to, I think Aldridge needs to close that gap down in order to really make... Oh, as he shot wide there, Isaac Aldridge, I think he washed up the track there, Kenny. I think he's fallen so far back that he's trying to maybe just hold that little bit more speed, maybe that extra 2, 3, 5k an hour, just to try and close down that gap. But he has been left behind by Aidan Daly, but Aidan has come down onto a shallower line. So again, in D1NZ this year, we're going lead for lead, we're going chase for chase, and then the style points. So this might be an interesting battle, Kenny, to find out how this result plays out.
Yeah, I think, and that's exactly what you mentioned, Maureen. When you talk about lead for lead, chase for chase, Aidan Daly quick out of the gate, but didn't actually get the entry right. And then the chase car just doing all sorts of weird stuff in the outer zone 3, 4, and then to 5. He tried to claw back some track position here. Isaac Aldridge in the chase through the last 3 zones, but 2 very different lines in the second lap. And how does that sway the points? Because we saw a fantastic lead run set by Isaac Aldridge to start, and is that enough for him to claw the points through into the top 8?
All right, so waiting for this to lock in, and Stephen McIver will let the drivers know who advances forward. It is Aidan Daly going through for RHP. Aidan Daly for RHP.
Aidan, congratulations. Really good chase. Not a bad lead either.
Nah, thanks heaps. You know, good fun out there, eh? Loving it, getting more and more comfortable with the track as we go. So I'm keen to get started and get into more battles.
Go find some clear air.
Oh, will do, bro.
Let's just quickly talk to Isaac Aldridge. And by the way, we've got Kisuke Nagajima and Adam Whitehead. They are down at Lilyworld if you want to go get their signature. Oh, mate, it was a good run, bar to that.
Yeah, we've just been struggling. We obviously, with no battle practice yesterday, it's hard to gauge the speed of the car, and it's easy to drive, but there's just not the pace in it. And we worked that out this morning, and then we were going to put it in the wall, and here we are. So,
mate, I loved your attitude out there because it looks like you like a bit of concrete. But next time round, good to see you, bud.
Cheers, thanks.
Hey, how slick was Aidan Daly's interview? That was pretty polished, wasn't it? Aidan Daly just rolled it off the tongue. Here's what's going on. I'm feeling good. He's just obviously he's benefiting from being part of that wider RHP setup with Sam West and Kurt Blackie and his brothers.
If, Isaac was just hurt out of the gate there in terms of car pace, because I do remember in briefing, our chase judge Benko Bruin was clear about the chase car committing and not falling too far back.
All right, Dan Edwards for Core Civil Construction. Dan Edwards, one of the real championship threats this season. Giovanni Kimitanga into the top 16 for the first time, making his competition debut here at Mount Smart with a lot of support behind him, but he has drawn a tough battle here with Dan Edwards out front. But the young man doing himself proud here, and he's hanging with Dan Edwards, going with him. He's gone to the inside line because he doesn't have the speed or the power to really get out wide there like Dan Edwards is doing. Giovanni's car is very much a development spec kind of car. It's probably 300, 350 odd horsepower. Dan Edwards will be up there at that kind of 450, 500 type mark. But hey, a great effort there from both drivers, and Giovanni's team, be proud of him, right? Makeshift Motorcycle Solutions on the side there. Good run from both drivers. Again, if you have just tuned in, this is the D1NZ Pro-SPORT Development Series. These drivers are effectively finding their way in drift. They're the development drivers, so they're on a 235 wide radial tyre. A lot of these guys have plenty of power. They've got sequential gearboxes, etc. But I guess you're only as good as the tyre that you're running on and the ability to put that power down. So you are watching a development series. The pro drivers are up tonight at around 5 p.m. So this is the development 235s. And the pros around 5 p.m. this afternoon.
Now, I think Dan Edwards actually running around 700 horse in the 2J.
Oh,
so it's near on a pro car.
Well, that's his aim, isn't it, right? So Dan Edwards, oh, Gio, are you going to pull that up? Yeah, it does, but it's, Dan Edwards here is going to have to, you would call it modulate, Kenny. Very much massage this car on the track. Gio's car is doing what it's meant to do. It's holding angle, but it's just not doing it at a high rate of knots. So Dan Edwards has to be very careful here not to trap himself in a position where he gets forced into a straighten up. Dan Edwards doing it smart here. This is what we saw earlier from Dean Young, right, too? It's the smart chase, just doing the right thing. Look at Dan Edwards coming down the inside. Put your hands together for both drivers. Mount Smart. Gio throwing down and Dan Edwards all over him.
GT radio replay, and Daniel Edwards certainly unafraid of chasing a slower car. Giovanni not quite getting that first outer zone, but falls back into line. A little bit off on outside zone 3 as well. Very shallow, but it didn't upset the chase car. Daniel Edwards not afraid of getting into the pocket and committing to a slower, shallower car, and certainly unafraid of trying to get up on the door.
Yeah, how good was this here from Dan Edwards? Just the smart switch there. Knew what was going to happen, knew the car was going to swing quite lazily in front of him. And here he comes, just hunting up the inside, putting the pressure on, getting right in there, just waving at him. Could have reached out the door there and ordered some McDonald's off the young fella. Oh, wait, could I say that on a broadcast? I don't know.
We already have.
Yeah, all right. Too bad. Dan Edwards smiling. Gio will be smiling. One of the things we do know is Giovanni is a very accomplished streamer on the Twitch platform, so he's a very comfortable public speaker.
Well, Giovanni, we're just talking about you actually, being a bit of a social media star out there. But what's it like actually getting out there and doing it for real?
Plenty different on this side of the fence. Spent all my younger years in the pits with like the Nico Reed and the NRD drift team, so it's a bit different being on this side of the fence for myself rather than in the stands watching.
So what's it like? Is there a fear factor when you go in the chase and the lead?
Just like every other driveway, you get nerves, you get the hype, you get everything. Just just another brother trying to make it.
Oh mate, I love the attitude. By the way, Giovanni Kimitanga, got to be the best name running around.
Yeah, shout out to Stunt 101. My first name's from a 50 Cent song.
Well done, brother. Nice work. Okay.
I think he just said he got his first name from a 50 Cent song. Is that right? As we watch Ryan Parry and Darren Murray. Now, the big story here is that Darren Murray has made it back out after having to make some mechanical repairs. And Ryan Parry, who was... Oh, he's just kissed him. He has just kissed the rear of the Ryan Parry lead car. Darren Murray is very aggressive here. And Ryan Parry hits the wall. And then Darren Murray hits him, Kenny. Ryan Parry got wide, kissed the wall, and then Darren Murray hit him, and both of them are still in it. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet, put your hands together, stomp your feet for two wild, young pro sport drivers. What a battle. Neither of them lifted. Watch this, Kenny. Just watch this.
I thought it was all over up the back section, but they just kept it committed, and the chase car managed to recover out of it. GT radial replay. I cannot believe what we just saw. One for the Sylvia fans for sure, because this was just spicy all the way through. Check out the transition, gives him a tag, kisses him on the rear quarter. He's lucky not to get the wheel-to-wheel contact. You'll see a short handbrake dab, and this is where it went wrong for the lead car, right? Up too much angle, tagged the concrete.
And keep going.
The chase car just kept going.
Did you get the win? Congratulations. I got to say, lead chase looks sweet.
It felt awesome. I knew if Team NRD gave Giovanni any tips, I knew I had to put it on him, bro, and I had to do it.
Mate, you put him on. See you next round. Well played.
So Dan Edwards grabbing the win there over Giovanni Kimitonga, and there we go.
How good was GK though? Just throwing a little vocab at us.
Do we know what he streams on Twitch?
He's a gamer. Yeah, he is a gamer. He does a bit of Fortnite. Yeah, he does a bit of sim drifting. He is a frequent competitor in the OCE series, the Oceania Drift series on the Sims. So shout out to Wills, by the way, if he's listening in. Will and the team are pretty active on social platforms. All right, let's see what happens here, because we had a wild kickoff to this battle as we take a look at the high drone shot. Darren Murray leading. The speed's gone up a notch, Kenny. The level now as we start getting further through the battle tree. Ryan Parry, Darren Murray throwing down. It's pretty hard to separate them at the moment. Oh, look at this driving from Parry. Ryan Parry right in the pocket. He can reach out and touch in the transition beautifully. Both of them driving that wider line that we saw from Dean Young, and out to the wall comes Darren Murray, and here comes Ryan Parry. Here comes Parry to the inside, out goes Darren Murray. Put your hands together, Go Media, Mount Smart.
Spicy action already. I love it. GT radial replay, what an entry, what a battle from these two. Of course, it's going to come down to those key mistakes with the lead car getting into the wall in the first run.
That's it. That's the one wall kiss, yeah. That is how you drive. I feel like the Ricky, but that is how you drive. There's an angry mountain lion in both those cars.
So Ryan Parry doing great jobs through the transitions and just getting straight into the pocket and trying to hold himself there, but did he just get a bit too aggressive from outside zone 6 through 7 and 8? It certainly held himself in the pocket there, hanging with the lead car.
Ryan Parry gets the win. It is Ryan Parry going through. Ryan Parry gets the win.
Ryan, congratulations. That was the battle of the day so far. Did it feel like it?
Oh, that was awesome. I loved that. It's pretty much the first battle of the day, so I'm stoked. I'm happy with that.
Well done, mate. Keep on going. Let's have a quick talk to Darren Murray, because the way you progressed in that battle, mate, that was as tight as I've seen it.
No, I love that, man. Ryan goes hard, and just a pleasure to chase him. Pleasure to chase him, man.
Like, your lead was good. I mean, you're all over him like a wet rag. You must be being a little, damn it.
No, I don't know if it was close, but no, I enjoyed it either way. It was cool, man.
Thanks for the entertainment, buddy.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Stuff there from Ryan Parry, Darren Murray. As we take a look at the next battle on the grid, which will be Curtis Lilly and Kevin Ryan. Kevin Ryan getting the win over Blair Gilman in the 32. Curtis Lilly qualifying in 7th last night, which puts him through to the 16. I'm just waiting for the cars to be released here. These guys fighting for a spot in the top 8. Curtis Lilly will take the lead as the higher qualifier, Kevin Ryan in the chase. Curtis Lilly enters in, but the chase car having a few problems in the first couple of scoring zones, trying to claw back track position now through, heading up into outside zone 4 and 5. Into the setup zone here for Curtis Lilly. Car looking a lot more settled than it was last night in qualifying.
Yeah, we know it's a fast car, Kenny, 530 odd kilowatts. Commented a lot last night on the setup, the aggressive camber on the front of that car as well. Just, it's set up to be really snappy and aggressive on those transitions, Curtis Lilly, and he's coming off his first ever Pro Sport podium at Taupo. So he told me this morning there's only one place to go, number 1.
Curtis Lilly right out on the wall on entries. You take a look at the GT radial replay. The chase car, though, just wavering on an inner line, far too shallow, and that'll be hurting him in terms of points. Tries to get back onto a rear quarter chase position here up the back section of the track, but just sort of surging, just sort of wavering, not quite getting the transitions clean and correct. Curtis Lilly doing a great job out in front. You'll see there a massive correction for the chase car as well, overcutting or cutting too much out of the inside clip and not quite filling that outer zone. So I think just trying to claw back some track position and try and stay with the lead car.
Now, just for those of you who are here at Mount Smart, the pro drivers are in the Lily World venue at the moment, still doing a signing session. So I saw Fangadan, I saw Keisuke Nagashima, Jordan Joyce is down there, Sean Potros, and a number of the other drivers. I think I saw a few ex-drivers down there as well with a little bit of FOMO. Jace Brown's one that comes to mind. So if you want to get posters or stickers, etc., head down to Lily World, catch up with the pro drivers as we watch the Pro Sport Top 32, and that is Kevin Ryan out front. And Kevin Ryan gets right out to the wall there, gives it a little love tap there. A little bit, yeah, maybe a little bit too much in it there. Not terrible, but maybe a minor deduction if you're splitting hairs. And then running around the inside of UDC there.
Yeah, too much up on the inside, up the back section, and then on a midline. Curtis Lilly hanging back, just...
I think he's playing safe.
He's playing it pretty safe, and then trying to close the door towards the end of the section there. I would say that is one of the better runs we've actually seen from Kevin Ryan, because the car just hasn't played the game so far, and he's found himself in the 16 against Curtis Lilly. But I think the wall at outer zone 2, misses outer zone 3, and then actually dabbles with the inner ripple strips. Of course, huge penalties if you run the front wheels over those.
Yeah, one of the new things for D1NZ this season is the 3 strikes rule. So if you run a wheel off and then a wheel off and then a wheel off, you are awarded a 0 by the judges. So it is looking odds on at the moment, we think, for Curtis Lilly, but we'll wait for the decision here as we go down to Master of Ceremonies McIver, the conductor, making the beautiful music there from the drift cars. Concerto RB. And it is Curtis Lilly going through. Curtis Lilly through. And it is a unanimous call.
All 3 judges. How good does that feel?
Oh, that's great. I was stoked. I've been struggling with this track since I had a big crash, and I've just been working my way up. And just want to say a big thanks to my head crew chief, Bailey. He's been in my head all weekend, and the crew, they've been great. Feeling great, man. I'm just enjoying it.
Mate, since you've crashed, you've got through it, you're moving on. Keep moving on. Looks great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Well, let's quick chat with Kevin Ryan, because I know our commentators said it was a pretty good run, particularly that lead run. Happy with the lead?
Yeah, it was good. Good run from Curtis.
What about your lead, buddy? You happy with that? Commentators liked it.
Oh, yeah, it was good then. That's what they want to see.
That's what we want to see, mate. Plenty of smoke. It's a smoke show. Get out of here.
Oh, that's what happens when we take them off dirt, Kenny. Those are ex-speedway drivers. They're not used to doing the level of social or digital content that we produce here at D1NZ. Curtis Lilly, though, is pumped to go through to the 8, and the reason he will be so excited, Kenny, is because he, Dean Young, and Guy Maxwell were 2, 3, 4 in the championship, and Corbin Wilson's out. So we're now going to have a new series leader coming out of this round. So I can tell you that all 3 of those drivers will now have enough points, I would imagine, to have leapt over Corbin Wilson. It's just a case of how that shakes out as they come out of the top 8, the top 4, and then go through to the final. So here is Guy Maxwell against Luke Chappell-Sayer. Guy Maxwell, Luke Chappell-Sayer. Guy Maxwell currently in P4.
Now, Guy Maxwell was one of those guys that was doing full send laps at Taupo Motorsport Park for rounds 1 and 2. What's he got in store here for Go Media Stadium in Auckland?
Well, he just didn't lift at all, did he? He just, he's not lifting, he's giving Steph a heart attack in the stands. He's massaging that rear guard in, but that will be a deduction because the judges don't actually like you slapping the wall. So they did prescribe that you should be 150 millimetres off the wall, not in the wall, which is what Guy's done. And then Luke's found himself right to the inside there. Just needs to be very careful not to put himself in a position where that's going to get quite ugly on that transition, because both cars could suffer potential damage there. Luke Chappell-Sayre, I think, probably struggling a little bit there for horsepower maybe to try and keep up with Guy Maxwell. But Guy Maxwell, 113%, hits the wall once, hits the wall twice. There it is, one. And then we'll have another go here. We'll have another bite at that rear. It's what bash bars are for, right, Kenny?
Yes, of course, as you alluded to, when you have those big contacts with the wall and it upsets the car, it creates dramas for the chase car as well, because you've got to react to what's happening out in front of you. As we see here, coming off outside zone 5 through the setup zone, the 12 AM drift, 831 Zafiro just trying not to get involved and locking himself out really through the transition. And yeah, as we talk about the penalties that get issued from the judges, slapping those concrete walls like that, depending on how big of a hit it is, you just want to, if you're going to get spicy and dance with the wall, it's just got to be an ever so slight graze with the wall. You can't be in it, you can't be banging it, you can't be upsetting the car, and yeah, that will be a penalty there for Guy Maxwell, no doubt.
Luke knows what's coming there, right? Luke knows that Guy Maxwell is going to tuck right in there, and then he sent that line out the rear of that car. Luke Chappell-Sayre a bit wider than he's been so far this weekend. He knows he's now got to bring the fight to Guy Maxwell. Guy Maxwell will definitely have the faster car. He's got a lot more grip. And Luke Chappell-Sayre knows that he needs to throw down a solid run here, and that's what he's doing. He's doing some good drive. Now, what was a little waiver there in the chase from Guy? Is that the lead driver that's caused that? Maybe, Kenny, is it?
It's almost a mirror. It was almost a mirror of what we saw on the first lap. But
that's the best we've seen Luke Chappell-Sayre come out of that zone. That was nice. That was good from both drivers there. I like the fact that Luke Chappell-Sayre found that confidence, right? You could see towards the end of the run, he felt good in the car. He cranked it to angle.
He wanted to throw down in the lead to try give something back to Guy Maxwell, because that was an incredibly aggressive run from Guy Maxwell in the first pass. You'll see here hovering off the back of the cars in the GT radial replay, and this is where things get interesting for Guy Maxwell, trying to chase the 831 Zafiro out in front, not quite pulling that wide outer line from the lead car, and then you see that waiver there from Guy Maxwell.
But it was
perhaps,
I think it was a checkup.
It's
I think
almost,
it was a checkup speed
it was
related.
almost like the same thing that we saw from the lead pass for the Zafiro, is just not locking yourself out of that chase.
All right, so here we go as we moved. Oh, there we go. That's a big, pretty sign.
Something I'm excited for later on in the season. The grand final, X-Air is back.
Right, let's find out who gets the call here and who locks into the top 8. And the winner is Guy Maxwell goes through to the 8. Guy Maxwell to the 8. And Guy will be slicking his promo, no doubt.
I saw you running around earlier in the morning. What were you doing? We're trying to just get some more, the blood pumping?
Yeah, so we obviously saw it was raining this morning, and we were like, okay, let's set the car up for that. And then there was no one in line, so we thought we had to go. So went and grabbed the car, and we were into it. So yeah, can't thank the boys enough for everything they're doing to keep everything going. And yeah, it's working so far. Yeah, massive thanks to Steph. Shout out to Charlie and Harper at home. Cody's here helping us out. The kids are all involved, and yeah, it's all good fun. Thanks to the team, and yeah, let's get it.
You got the biggest wing in the comp.
Yeah, mate. Just I like the style, and yeah, run the wing on the wall, and makes it look good.
Right, well done, mate. Guy Maxwell through a quick chat to Luke Chappell-Sayre. Hey, Luke, can you get you well? Thanks, buddy. Hard luck, but she's a beast to run, right?
Yeah, it's awesome just to be here. I'd love to give a shout out to my sponsors, Swartz Tyres from Wanganui Collision Centre for tidying it up since last season. Yeah, it's just a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. Thanks for looking after the people who look after you, buddy. All right, let's keep rolling.
I love that from Luke Chappell-Sayre. Just rolled off the tongue so fluently there. Whanganui represent. Just a fun fact for you, Kenny. That was actually where I was born, in Whanganui.
Really?
So how good is that? Yeah, Whanganui. They have a huge following for pre-65 race cars in Whanganui. Interestingly enough, it's one of the biggest demographics. There are a lot of classic race cars.
Last time I was down that way was for jet sprints, I think.
Yeah, that would be all right. So here we
Drifting on water.
Yep. Jason Wu, the Wuro fighter, the E92 BMW, the supercharged LS3 underneath the bonnet. He is up against Tyler Knowles. These two have met each other before, but not in D1 competition. They've met in MSC competition. This type of tight little track will be familiar ground, particularly to Mr. Wu out front. And Jason Wu just stretches the legs on that BMW out front. Tyler Knowles got to try and close up onto Jason Wu. One of the things we talked about last night, Kenny, was Jason Wu has had an ability, or has kind of developed an ability to play it safe in a lot of his qualifying runs, and he's just doing again what he knows he can do. This car just looks so controlled, it looks so smooth as it stretches the leg in its lead run, and it just looks like it's a, I wouldn't say it's an easy car to drive, but it looks like it's a comfortable car to drive.
So the chase car's had a moment there.
And shut down.
Tyler Knowles has shut it down on the outside zone 6 on the return.
So I'm just gonna...
Jason Wu, one of the front runners in qualifying last night, certainly setting some smooth laps. The E92 Eurofighter.
Just
LS V8 powered BMW, one for the V8 fans here today.
Now, interestingly enough, of the top 6 cars, we have a, sounds like we've got a 5-minute call here at the bottom of the top 8 round. So, be interesting to see.
So the car just shut down on Tyler there at the end. Not quite sure why.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether we move forward in Riley and Dean run, because we're at the bottom end of the top 8, right? So we're waiting to see who faces Guy Maxwell in the top 8. So we've got locked in already. Riley versus Dean, Aiden versus Dan Edwards. We've got Ryan Parry and Curtis Lilly, and then Guy waiting for an opponent. So we have a 5-minute call, and we are not moving forward because of the point in the competition that we're at. So let's just see.
So that'll be Tyler Knowles, I'm assuming.
I wonder if we can find out from the pits what's actually gone on with the Tyler Knowles car, or might be going down to Mr. McIver possibly. Coming back quite slowly, so it's coming back quite slowly. Doesn't look like it's got a lot of. Now they can't put hands on the car, can they?
He's got to get back into his pit bay first.
Yeah.
So the team taking opportunity to walk with the driver down into the pit lane.
All right, let's go down to Stephen McIver.
Yeah, interesting little thought here, lads. Bit of grey sky about. Not wanting to be the bearer of bad news. I think we're good. There's quite a strong wind here, and that's why the smoke show is actually clearing pretty quickly. So we've got a 5-minute on that one. Knowles into the pit for a 5-minute. In the meantime, how about we get excited about the final weekend of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship, because it also features XAir weekend of 25, 26th of April at Bay Park in Wanganui. It is a monster weekend.
We get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Let's go! So the next step was to get this thing on a proper ECU, especially with all the technology that Link has to offer.
Which should give us full communication and full control over all the sensors.
But so far, being able to log in and review every lap has been a huge plus.
To have Link pull through and step up for us and just help us out to be able to all pull it together.
That's all we need. Simple, cheap, easy, works, good ECU, weatherproof.
It's got enough IOs too, like we're doing tons of stuff. Oil, fuel pressure, boost control.
All those features I have thanks to Link ECU.
So looking forward to the 25th and 26th of April, X-Air, Bay Park, Mount Maunganui. You've got to get tickets for X-Air. It's a really good show. Good to have it back. And the monster trucks and the Reaper. How about this? Go to attack New Zealand's first ever backflip. Attempt, I said, backflip. Rather Reaper than me. Okay, got to finish off this last part of the pro sport. Let's get busy, baby.
Oh, you're getting a little excited down there, Stephen, aren't you? Getting back into the drifter groove as we watch Tyler Knowles and Jason Wu. And I think I heard you say backflip then. I don't... What sort of maniac tries to backflip a monster truck? Oh, I've just been told, okay, apparently it's the guy that's driving it today. So we clearly have lunatics on site, but the backflip, of course, is in the bank for Bay Park. It is not being attempted here because we like to keep you building towards the pinnacle of the season. We're going to just put on a little bit of a display today from Taurus, from Reaper, and from Kiwi Thunder as we look at Tyler Knowles. So Tyler Knowles looks like he's just having a great time in that car. He just looks so happy to be here. How good is it to see him out there? We know he had a few battles, a few challenges leading into rounds 1 and 2 and wasn't able to make it, but he is here putting on a show for his friends and family, and that is a fantastic achievement for him and his team. Jason Wu, I'm sure, will be pretty calm and collected behind the wheel. He's been there, done that before. Jason Wu has a Formula Drift Japan license and is heading over to compete in Formula Drift Japan. Is the drone lying on the track at the moment? How fast does that thing take off? It's just chilling. It's just hanging out there, just waiting for our crew to be ready. I'm still going through in my mind the concept of backflipping a monster truck just seems very unhinged. And I am a kid at heart. I'm looking forward to watching the monster trucks when they do their demo today. I think that's scheduled for about 3:30, about 5:30, I think. So I think they're just preparing the monster truck obstacles. Oh, there we are. The drone's woken up, Kenny. It's about to take off. I think they actually have to. Oh, there you can see it. They actually have to strop the cars together so that they don't move. When I think it's about 5 ton. Is that right? 5 ton of monster truck runs over the top of them. Here we go. We're off the line, and this is the final pass potentially of this top 16 battle. It is Jason Wu in the chase position. There's Tyler Knowles out front, and Tyler Knowles has had a mechanical. He's fixed the car, and he's now back on track. Jason Wu in the chase position. Tyler Knowles puts a wheel off the inside there. Jason Wu's followed him and then run up towards that curve there. Kenny, potential deduction there for Wu in the chase position, but he is being led up there by the lead car. So
maybe the judges not quite so harsh on that. You can see Jason Wu is your favourite word at the moment, is modulating the throttle there, the big long pedal strokes. You can hear the V8 going in and out there. I think just giving Tyler Knowles enough room there, Jason Wu, that's a controlled chase from Mr. Wu, who sometimes borders on manic.
Manic. Of course, big repair work for the Jason Wu machine as well after Taupo. You might have seen on the social media on Oversteer TV and D1NZ, as well as the dicey moments if you're tuned in on the channel and you're looking for something to watch in between the Pro Sport and the Pro Championship later this afternoon. Plenty of highlights action from Taupo Motorsport Park for the opening rounds, where you will see this silver BMW absolutely annihilating the rear end on Matthew Brown's car, I think it was, off the entry. So that was a spectacular crash. You can check out the crash highlights on our YouTube channel.
All right, going through, and your winner is the Wu-Ro fighter, Jason Wu.
Jason Wu, last time I saw you were just learning to drift. Now you are killing it. Well played.
Oh, thank you. Car's very good, but last battle I got a little bit lucky. I think his car lost second gear, so a little bit hard to drive, but yeah, looking forward to the next battle with Guy Maxwell. Hope I can win next one. Yeah.
Mate, go get ready. You're in the top 8.
Thank you. Thank you.
We talk about wild driving. Guy Maxwell and Jason Wu are paired up in the next bracket, so that's going to be one to watch.
Okay, now I might get myself in. Now I'm prepared to say this, and I might get myself in trouble, but I'm pretty sure the next battle in Pro Sport, being Riley and Dean, may possibly be the youngest competitor in Pro Sport versus potentially one of the older competitors in Pro Sport.
You're really roughing up Dean Young.
Well, look, I'm not. I call him the smooth silver fox because he has got a lot of experience. So the fact he's got a lot of experience and he's coming up against Riley McEwen is a story in itself. That's why I'm referencing the age thing, because Dean Young, we know, cut his teeth crewing for Central Drift Team, right? He was here with Taylor and Matthew James. Now, speaking of cutting teeth, we're hearing there are some UFC fighters in the house, Kenny.
Yeah, Jesse from Oversteer TV flicked him a late message last night, and apparently he is actually floating around somewhere. So
I vote we put him in a car. Let's put him in a car and see if we can make a hot lap happen. I don't know how we have to manipulate the rules to make that work. I don't know if you can do that in a comp day.
We do have some, there is some display time in between certain brackets, so we might be able to slot in a hot lap for sure.
I got told Jordan Joyce has a 5XL suit too, so if any of the Warriors players are floating around, I reckon we chuck a Warriors front rower in there as well with Jordan Joyce. Back to business for Mr. Young, and a 360 for Riley McEwen in the chase position. The smooth silver fox doing Dean Young things out front.
Will we see a red track light, or is Riley McEwen
I think
got
Riley
away
got
there?
going again. He full 360'd and just kept going. I think he's just following him around, just tracking around in the chase position, and Dean Young just business as usual for Mr. Young.
Certainly laying out a really solid lead run there, and has been sort of just sticking to the same line from qualifying all the way through now into the top 8 for Dean Young. So a really good drive, and one to watch as we boil down into the semi-finals.
Dean Young actually tapped the wall then again. So Dean Young tapped the wall.
Okay,
and
so
that
could be interesting. We might want to see that again, actually, for where Riley McEwen was, because I think he was lost in the smoke a little bit there. So I'd like to actually see that myself again. It would be interesting to see what the judges call on that one. But Dean Young, for all intents and purposes, doing a great job out in the lead. Riley taking a spin in the chase, the lead car unaware, and just has to finish that run to score those points. But
so
that wall tap could be a deciding factor in just how those points sway.
Yeah, that is a valid question you're asking, right? As we switch back around, Riley McEwen. Whoa, Riley McEwen!
So Riley's taking a spin on the lead as well on entry.
How good is that placement, by the way, for Dean Young's sponsorship? Whoever sponsors the roof of Dean Young's car, parking right underneath that camera. How good is that for you?
Great job by Dean Young to stall the car up and avoid collision. Oh no, Riley's really, the car's just over-rotating. There is, he's in a world of trouble there. He's just, the car's just not handling, and he's straight back.
Straight off, so we'll no doubt go down to Stephen, and do you reckon he'll brief him this time? Don't say any words that rhyme with anything that translates to duck on your iPhone.
He needed a bit more luck.
Yeah. How good is Dean Young at the moment, though? He's just so smooth. We've called a number of drivers over there. We've called it sort of the smooth operator thing gets thrown out there a lot, but I think it is a fitting title for Dean Young, isn't it? At the moment, he's just looking real flowing out there. It is Dean Young going through to the 4. Dean Young to the top 4. So, interestingly...
Did you just try to scare him?
I feel bad. It's not how you want to win. But hey, we're here to take it out. Let's keep on keeping on, man.
Dean, how good is it to have, though, the next gen, let's call them next generation, giving you a run?
Yeah, how good. Hey, top 8, can't complain, man. Stoked as.
All right, someone suggests you should go pro next year, stop beating up on kids.
My bank account won't let me go pro, man. I doubt it.
Get ready for the top 4. Quick chat to our scholarship winner here, Riley McEwen. Hey Riley, what happened to the car? Rotating or what's the story?
Yeah, I just know he's so good that I just tried to give it everything, but just gave it too much and over-rotated. But yeah, it's all driving experience. It's pretty good.
Hey, so okay, car's okay, you just got excited.
Yeah, I was just trying to do too much. But yeah, it's all driving experience. I just want to thank my team, my crew. They do so much over the weekend. It's just, yeah, it's mental.
Mate, we love having you in D1. Keep going, pal.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, how good was that from young Riley? And just for reference too, it was not me who called Dean Young out to go to pro. That was Nick Hoyle from the pits who suggested that Dean should go to pro. But I agree. I do think Dean could...
Certainly running a pro-style line in the Pro Sport Series. Of course, if you've just joined us on the live stream, this is the top 8 of the Pro Sport 235 series here in New Zealand, which is our feeder class into the Pro Championship and a title fight in its own right as well. These cars run a 235 radial tyre, no nitrous oxide and no semi-slick compound on those rear tyres.
Yeah, but they're still sporting 700 horsepower and sequential gearboxes. I tell you what though, Aidan Daly has come to play. Dan Edwards is one of the standouts in the Pro Sport field, but Aidan Daly is going with him, and this is definitely a drive from Aidan Daly. Dan goes sort of slightly up the track there, but Aidan Daly attacks him again. Aidan Daly fell back there a little bit. Aidan Daly cranking angle on. Dan Edwards delivering a great run up front here from a chase perspective. That is all you can ask for as a chase driver. He's opened it right up and just allowed Aidan Daly to tuck into the pocket. RHP Drift fans get excited.
What a run from Aidan Daly.
We need an entertainers award, right? Like people, and there's clearly something unhinged in people from the Bay of Plenty, because Zach Green, Aidan Daly, Sam West, Kurt Blackie, they've all been the entertainers this weekend.
Lead for lead, chase for chase though. I just saw that first transition from Aidan Daly. I almost thought he was about to over-rotate or just transitioned a little bit too early, and I thought he was going to stall the car up, but he managed to recover it and get back onto the chase pocket through the last part of the section. Not quite there on entry though. I wonder how shallow he actually was marked down on the entry. But we'll take a look at the second lap now.
Right, this is going to be a case of keeping probably the aggression under control a little bit here. Both of these drivers need to drive to 99.9%, but just not tip over the edge there and make that small mistake, because that is what separates their drivers as they start to operate at the highest levels. So Dan Edwards there has sort of come to the inside there a little bit, maybe Kenny. So I think, again, we're going lead for lead, we're going chase for chase. It is going to come down to very, very finite points within this battle here. Both drivers driving out of their skin as they come back around onto the main straight. Put your hands together, Go Media, Mount Smart.
Aidan Daly and Daniel Edwards. This is scraping the wall on entry was Aidan. So he's returned the serve on trying to get a nice lead run here to the chase car. Of course, Daniel Edwards throwing down to start with a great lead run as well. We talk about lead for lead, chase for chase in terms of how the judging scoring works. And from a driving perspective, you can't have a good chase without a good lead. Both drivers trying to throw down good lead runs for each other, and that's what we want to see. Some fantastic door-to-door action here at D1NZ. Round 3, Go Media, Mount Smart. Great drone action too. During the break earlier, I was chatting to the drone guy, and he was having some trouble with a seagull was circling and trying to take him out of the sky.
All right, so I think the judges are still deliberating on this one, and that's befitting of a battle of that nature, Kenny. It is very hard to separate these drivers, and the win is Daniel Edwards. Daniel Edwards goes through.
Nice work, mate. That was close.
That was really close, to be honest. The car's playing ball with me this weekend. I haven't had really good luck the last round, but with help from other teams and stuff like that, it's working.
Positive vibes, mate. Positive vibes.
We'll get it done. That's what we're here for, and I've got a championship to fight for.
Yeah, all right. We're going to talk to Aiden Daly, but he's buggered off. Let's keep racing.
So Dan Edwards through to the semi-finals, and he will line up against Dean Young. We're now on the right-hand side of the tree, which will see Ryan Parry and Curtis Lilly now next up in the top 8. These guys fighting for a place in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and we saw Ryan Parry run into the wall in the lead position in the top 16. So let's see how this plays out. Curtis Lilly's gone up a gear as well. Look at this. Look at the aggression from both drivers. A little bit of a gap there created by Parry. I thought Curtis Lilly was going to accelerate right up onto him there, but he did fall back there, and now he comes back at him again, attacking, but he's dropped to the inside there. I don't think the judges will like that, Kenny. I think probably seen a shut. Yeah.
I think Curtis caught himself out through the first part of the section. I think he was a bit more reserved than what he probably wanted to be, and then tried to claw back track position. So we'll unpack it a bit more in the GT Radial replay. But a great job so far from Ryan Parry.
So we'll take a look at the replay here of Ryan Parry and Curtis Lilly for Carter's your building partner. Ryan Parry certainly on form this weekend and throwing down each and every time. And Ryan Parry he's just carrying a nice consistent angle, Kenny.
Yeah, there was an extra handbrake dab after entry that sort of set him up for the wall ride through outside zone 2 and 3. And then you'll see here Curtis Lilly trying to claw back some track position through the setup zone. But I feel like he's almost locking himself out through the transition because he's just shot up the inside there and not quite sitting in that pocket as collected as we would probably want to see him.
So if you have just joined us, we are most of the way through our pro sport competition here. Again, we do things maybe slightly differently to what you're used to, in that we have a lead judge and we have a chase judge and we have a style judge. So the runs are judged lead for lead, chase for chase, and then an overall style split. So we don't tend to end up maybe with as many one more times as have been seen in past, Kenny, and it has made for a much more fluent and flowing show.
There was some concern from the pit lane that perhaps there wouldn't be any OMTs, but of course Taupo Motorsport Park round 1 and 2 we had 4, so yeah, certainly still available in the scoring system.
Yeah, and part of the reason for it is we sort of wanted to remove the 0, 10, 10, 0 stuff that we were just effectively making mistake for mistake and lead for that just wasn't helping anyone. So now it's quite transparent. You just simply know what you did on the lead, you know what you did on the chase, you know what you did style-wise. As Curtis Lilly leads away over Ryan Parry, and Curtis Lilly throwing down up front here. Now, how do they transition through this part of the track here? Now, I think if Ryan Parry can sit up, so Ryan Parry I think can sit up a little bit wider there than Curtis Lilly. I think he's better through that part of the track there. So if you're looking at that chase for chase aspect, I would say that maybe that is tidier there from Ryan Parry, but he does have to maintain the proximity, he has to stay the angle there, and he has to hang on to Curtis Lilly. Good job from both drivers there. Put your hands together for our pro sport drivers, putting on a show here at Go Media Mount Smart.
One of 2 spots remaining in the semi-finals. What an entry from Curtis Lilly, straight into it, right on the concrete walls, filling those outer zones to start. An amazing drive from the lead car, the Carter's machine. But Ryan Parry, again, set a lead, great lead run in his first pass as well, and is just hanging in the pocket here. And for me, I feel like Ryan Parry just doing a better job in the chase, and perhaps just enough to sway the points in his favour for the overall victory into the semi-finals. But has Curtis Lilly done enough in the lead run here? Throwing down and giving Ryan Parry every opportunity to get up on the door.
Yeah, I think that it's minor differences, but there is enough there, right? Because when you're going lead for lead, chase for chase, it is much easier to come to a decision because you effectively can have only 1 or 2 points between, and it gives you a result. And the result is the judges are
may
still.
be tight. It could be a tight decision.
Well, are we going to see the first? Are we going to see a one more time by virtue of a tie? We've seen a one more time because of a couple of mistakes, but we haven't seen one yet.
I wonder if we'll see another replay, or
there it is. There is our first OMT. Who jinxed that one, Kenny? There we go. Just to prove that it works. Now there we go. So let's talk about how that works. So it is a majority there. 2 drivers OMT, 1 judge calling in favour of a driver, and because 2 have gone one way, that means that we have to go again. So they are entitled to go and change tyres now, which I would imagine they will do here on a tight and abrasive Mount Smart surface, Kenny?
Yeah, the rubber build-up is going to be super interesting to watch as the pro guys head out later on this evening. And then you've got that temp roll-off as they head into the evening as well. So it's a constant evolving challenge for the teams to set up the cars to get the grip out of them and keep the balance that the drivers are after. And certainly when the semi-slick rubber goes down tonight, on top of all that rubber that's just been laid down after 2 days or 3 days of driving here at Mount Smart, the high horsepower monsters just produce some insane laps, and it's going to be great to watch as we kick into gear later on this afternoon, live on Oversteer TV, Sky Sport, Kaio, and in the Pacific as well.
All right, so great shot there of NZKW's flags there. NZKW, one of our sponsors here this week, and probably a good time at this point just to mention our supporting partners for the weekend, Kenny. So it is, of course, the Repco Power Night. 10 Tools, our sponsor for the podium. TTI sponsoring the Scrub Box, the 10 Tools Initiation, the Repco Wall Ride, Link ECU sponsoring the Back Straight, the Drift Japan Wall Ride, UDC Outer Corner, and the NZKW Midsection. So those are all of our backing partners for the Repco Power Night here at Round 3 of D1NZ at Go Media Mount Smart Stadium. All right, here we go. Guy Maxwell, Jason Wu, as Kenny pointed out before. These are 2 of the more aggressive drivers in the field, so we don't really know what's going to happen. Jason Wu doesn't look like he wanted to give Guy a lot of room here. Jason Wu fast into that section, chasing Guy Maxwell down. He doesn't want to give Guy any room to stretch the legs and create a bit of a gap there distance-wise. So Wu starting to attack here in the Wu Row Fighter BMW. Guy Maxwell in the Choice Files S13. Little bit of a waiver there from Guy Maxwell, then cranked it back out to Angle in the lead. Jason Wu getting down to... Oh, now Jason Wu's washed there in the chase position, Kenny. And now he's trying to set himself back up as they come along the Repco wall ride. Jason Wu lost all of his angle there.
Yeah, that's where it's sort of fallen apart for the chase car there as we take a look at the replay thanks to GT Radio. Guy Maxwell, great out of the gate. Fantastic start for the Choice Files S13. Of course, the Choice Files, a YouTube channel that you can tune in and watch all the behind-the-scenes action from Guy Maxwell and the team. Of course, looking forward to LZ first coming up.
So this is the bit here, I think, Kenny, isn't it? There's a little bit of the... Yeah, there it is there. It's a slight waiver, then cranked back out again. So some sort of adjustment on the car there, and then Jason was shot up the track there, and then washed and almost gone flat, and then it sent him on a different line.
Well, I feel like it was sort of set up from the start too, from what Jason Wu was a little bit more conservative on the entry, and then just sort of stuck to that initial line that he caught, and it was just a bit too shallow for the majority of the run for me.
Well, let's see what happens as they switch over. As always is the case with drifting, the higher qualifier leads first all the way through to the final battle. So the higher qualifier always leads and is always on, well, I shouldn't say always, but generally is on the left-hand side for the initiation, with the chase car in the right-hand position. Now there's a slight gap there from Jason, but then Guy Maxwell, as we know, will chase without lifting, 113%. We saw him just spear off the track at Taupo, and now he's chasing down Jason Wu. Jason Wu is the prey in a side. Now there's a waiver again. Maxwell has gone really shallow to the inside, and Maxwell has run a tyre off the inside of the UDC corner. And that is going to cost him. Then he's tucked into the inside then, so it's got all sorts of untidy. But Guy Maxwell here in the chase position. Jason Wu just needs to hang on to the Repco wall ride. Jason Wu, Guy Maxwell attacking, but it got untidy, Kenny. He got unsettled. Yeah. And then from there it was all catch up, and you could see the change in the way he tried to control the car. So super aggressive, but then he just didn't quite keep it as flowing and as fluid as he has been.
Yeah, it was a big handbrake drag on entry too for Jason Wu, which sort of opened the opportunity for Guy Maxwell, who's certainly unafraid of chasing a slower car out in front in that regard. But the massive mistake was that 2 wheels off up on the inner, which could actually just cost him dearly.
Well, I think, yeah, and then I think the fact he's shot to the inside there is not going to help him either. So there's a couple of deductions there from a chase. But there's another waiver there too. It's harder to see from something in the front of that car is just causing it to.
Well, knowing just how big of a penalty it is to run wheels off the inside of the track, I feel like that could be a massive penalty there for him. It's 20
points for 2, yeah, 20 points for 2. So let's see what happens. Waiting for the call. Lauri Heinonen in the pits. For our Finnish fans who are tuned in, we expect Lauri on track around 5:36 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, we've got some guys staying up, guys and girls staying up late. I think it was like, well, that was an hour ago. It was 3 in the morning over there. So go and get some sleep. Set your alarm for 5 o'clock NZDT.
And come back and watch Mr. Jumalata. Do we have a call? I feel like Stephen is burning calories just waiting for the decision, right? Yeah. There's our, there are our officials here, the ladies who make everything possible. It is, yeah, we'll call them beauties and the beasts up there. There's Ben Kai and Tony G, Matt Kwok. Puts the hat back on all of a sudden. Matt Kwok hasn't taken his hat off all weekend, actually, so. Jason Wu gets the win, the Wuro fighter going through to the 4. Now, Matt Kwok, as a judge, called her one more time.
You look surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. He's hard to beat. He's the top drivers, I think. Yeah, yeah. Just so I did everything I could.
Congratulations, mate. You're in the 4. Go get it. Let's just have a quick talk to Guy. I think he's a bit gutted about that one. Chase, mate. I think the chase might have cost you in the second run.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a cut coming through the teardrop here, and it just lost all power. And then it woke back up, and that was enough to lose it, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, the Link ECU doing its job and trying to keep something safe. So we'll go back and check the logs and see what's going on. But hey, well done to Jason. Still a good finish for us, top 8. Yeah, shout out to everyone at home, and yeah, we'll bring on the next round, and yeah, we'll see you guys all in a month or so.
Mate, you put on a show. We appreciate that.
Nah, we're trying, you know. It's all about a show. So yeah, make sure you guys check out the Choice Files on YouTube channel, and yeah, we'll see you guys there.
There you go, looking after himself. Yeah!
Who let him get that one in? That's what happens when you compliment a man on the size of his wing, Stephen. You encourage him.
It is a big wing. There's memes on Instagram about getting bigger and bigger wings. I was waiting to see that like the, you know, that was going to be as big as a house one day.
All right. So, hey, look, that's a look at one of the new seating areas that we've opened up here at Go Media Mount Smart. So you can take some shade underneath the trees there. We did sort of suggest that you bring a blanket to sit along the bank there. That's a whole new area. The boys cleared that by hand.
Yep, cleared
on
by
Wednesday.
Hand and some leaf blowers,
yeah.
And we set out some grass turf there as well. A little bit of shade.
It is very important to make sure that you wear a hat, sunglasses and sunscreen and remain well hydrated. And also, because I can see plenty of children out there in the audience, there are earplugs for sale. So if you do need some earplugs, now that is some interesting facial hair there. That is majestic. Look at that. Give us a wave there, sir. That looks amazing. There's some effort that's gone into that. There's got to be some beard oil and all sorts of things going on in there. All right, we'll move on before we do kiss cam, because that'll get weird if it's just those two on camera. Is anyone going to volunteer for the kiss cam? Who's going to? Where's Dan? Oh, there's Dan Hooker. There's Dan. I'm not going to go. We're not doing kiss cam with Dan Hooker. That's gonna. He will come and destroy all of us. So was Dan Hooker was supposed to be in a match, wasn't he?
Yes, recovering from injury, and I think I saw him on the TV last night.
There's Matty
quite
J.
an extended interview on Sky Sport.
Oh, let's see if Matty J will follow our instructions. Hey, Matty J, how are you? Are you prepared to play kiss cam? Hey, Matty, play kiss cam. Play kiss cam. Come on, Matty. Come on, Matty. Yeah, Matty. All right. Sorry, there is a battle about. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, back to the track. Ryan Parry, Curtis Lilly, about to go one more time. It is one of the fun features we brought back. We've done a few different things over the years, Kenny, haven't we? I would love to find a couple here celebrating a significant occasion, like an anniversary or something like that.
Mount Smart was one of those tracks back in the day where you'd see guys and girls out there with the massive sign, you know, a sign for their favourite driver with some funny quotes and stuff.
That was very much a Nico Reed drift team thing. They used to bring the big signs in. Here we go, back into battle with Ryan Perry to lead this time. Curtis Lilly was so close there to Ryan Perry as they came down that main straight, and Ryan Perry straight out to the wall again. Ryan Perry just dialed in. He must just have like a GPS radar on the back of the car. He knows exactly where he's placing that car, and he's looking so good here. And he goes right out there wide again, just forcing Curtis Lilly to play catch up. Curtis Lilly certainly has the grip and he has the drive to do it, but then, oh, there's a wash. There's a wash there from Lilly in the chase position. This is, of course, the first part of a one more time battle. We are running the Pro Sport 235 development class. These guys are on radial tyres, but look at how close he was, Kenny.
Yeah, great stuff in the chase there from Curtis Lilly, just bringing the aggression. And the car certainly looking a lot more settled than how it was bouncing around last night in qualifying. And certainly one of the front runners at the opening rounds earlier this year, or earlier in the season. Ryan Perry doing a great job out in front, filling this outer zone. This is where things start to get a little bit unstuck for Curtis Lilly. Almost looks like he used a bit of handbrake there to try get through the setup zone, but it's like he's shot up the inside here
and then what?
And just washed the car a little bit. And he's tried to close the door, but I feel like that will be a bit of a penalty there for him at the last part of the section.
Yeah, so again, just repeating that there are, because we have had some messages from parents in the audience asking about ear protection, there are earplugs available from one of the merchandise stands in the concourse. Of course, while you're down there, you can check out the hard park as well down there. Our friends from NZKW are down there as well, our friends from Link ECU, but earplugs available for $2. It's the anti-lag really, isn't it, Kenny? It's the big pops and the bangs on site that comes from... yeah, that comes from some of those high-strung cars that maybe it's not always a pleasant thing if you're a young child and you're not expecting to get that big old fright.
Well, you get the big shockwave too when you stand close right next to the walls.
Some of us, however, are partially deaf from being around drifting for many, many years, Kenny. Right, what happens here? Do we reckon, what does Curtis do here? He's got to stretch the legs. He will know that Ryan Perry was right over the wall. One of the things we've sort of learned is a lot of the drivers, as they develop, they start to have that sense of when the lead car or when the chase car has done something particularly strong, and then that in turn means that they dial it up a level of intensity, and he will know that Ryan Perry is right there in the chase position, and he will know that Ryan Perry will come at him aggressively here. So Curtis Lilly has made a mistake in that transition, Kenny. It was almost like did he bump the handbrake or bump the gear stick or something? It just didn't feel like he transitioned smoothly through the middle part of that Drift Japan wall ride.
GT radial replay here. Okay, that was interesting there from the lead car. Handbrake and then handbrake. So let Curtis Lilly out in front, perhaps not stacking on the angle that Ryan Perry threw out initially. And Ryan Perry taking the opportunity to get up on the rear quarter through outside zone 4, 5, and then through the setup zone on 6, 7, and 8 on the return. Ryan Perry a little shimmy to get into the pocket and just squirm the car in there. And perhaps it almost looked like he was stacking on a little bit too much angle in terms of car position on the chase out, but then he actually held it and just put his foot down. And
well, you can do that when you got 530. So this is a look at the monster truck preparation here for the demonstration, which is around 3:30 this afternoon. They strapped the cars together to stop them moving. No doubt those tyres are underneath there too, just to stop that surface being damaged as well, Kenny. So we go down to Stephen McIver in the pits, and we will have a result lock-in shortly. Be pretty close, I would say, Kenny. Very close. Curtis Lilly getting the win. Curtis Lilly gets the win.
You looked a little bit surprised there.
Mate, I did not expect that. I've looked up to Ryan ever since I got into drifting. He's been such a talented driver, and so I was thinking, nah, there's no way I've beat Ryan.
Well, you did, mate. You're into the 4. You paced the Enigma in Jason Wu.
Oh, mate, I'm pumped. I'm stoked. Massive congrats to everyone that's involved with the team, and yeah, I'm just pumped, bro. That's such a cool win for me.
Oh, maintain the heat, buddy. We'll see you in the 4.
Oh, look forward to it, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Well, we now have our top 4. The semi-finals are about to get underway very shortly. It is Dean Young and Daniel Edwards and Curtis Lilly
and Jason Wu.
Yeah, and odds on that whoever makes the final out of this will leave this round as most likely leading the series as well, Kenny, towards the $15,000 prize from Drift Japan Tours. Speaking of Drift Japan Tours, I wonder if we can have a look maybe at that.
No. Zebra Car Parts, of course, providing part of the entertainment.
I'm gonna, well, let's go to an ad break and pay some bills, Kenny.
At Repco, we get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Let's go! So the next step was to get this thing on a proper ECU, especially with all the technology that Link has to offer.
Which should give us full communication and full control over all the sensors.
But so far, being able to log in and review every lap has been a huge plus.
To have Link pull through and step up for us and just help us out to be able to all pull it together.
That's all he needs. Simple, cheap, easy, works, good ECU, weatherproof.
It's got enough IOs too, like we're doing tons of stuff. Oil, fuel pressure, boost control.
All those features I have thanks to the Link ECU.
Welcome back to Martin Smart Stadium. I'm here with our guest, our Finnish guest, Laurie. Laurie, how are you enjoying your stuff time so far?
Yeah, we are really enjoying ourselves.
the weather is nice, even though it was raining earlier. We're really enjoying it because we have winter over in Finland, so yeah, loving it.
And for the fans that don't know, you give us a little bit of it. What's your resume, mate? Tell us a little bit about your driving and your career.
Yeah, so we are the current Drift Masters champions. So it's driven in Europe, but there's James Dean, like all the good guys. Yeah, and yeah, we have 3 Finnish championships. Then we went to Europe and got a 2nd place, and now the championship. Yeah, so yeah.
And the Finns are motorsport mad, obviously. Kalle Rovanperä and other rally drivers. So you must be rubbing shoulders with some really cool people.
Yeah, we have really cool people, and there is plenty of good drifting drivers from Finland also. Yeah, but if I wouldn't do drifting, I would do rally, I think.
Well, Kalle actually won his championship here in New Zealand a couple of seasons back. Yeah.
Yeah, Kalle is a nice guy. He's really into drifting and yeah, really enjoying like the grassroots side of it.
And so for you, where do you see the future of drifting? Where's the sport headed?
I'm afraid it's going to grow like as big as F1, I think, because of course there's going to be big companies, but I like this nature of drifting where you have all your friends in the pits doing the crew and just, yeah, good atmosphere.
It's really cool to be a part of a 5-car team, and the JDM racing team are putting it on for you. What have you enjoyed the most so far?
Yeah, I like the team spirit, as I said, just a bunch of friends hanging out together and doing drifting. And yeah, the driving is also good. I love the 180. It's really similar chassis-wise compared to our own, so yeah.
Awesome. And for the Kiwi fans that want to see a little bit about Drift Masters, which is the best track? Which is the one they should watch?
In Europe, Riga, definitely. It's exciting.
And when's that?
I cannot remember. Yeah, it's like mid-season. Yeah.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, look, it's really awesome to have you here, and really looking forward. We're only maybe an hour or so away from you guys getting warmed up, back in the seat. Hopefully a little more seat time.
Yeah, hoping to have good battles and good show for the people.
Very good. All right, well, we'll head back up to commentary and we'll get back on action.
Well, plenty going on here at Mount Smart Stadium, Kenny, as we take a look at the Kiwi Thunder legend.
Are you rummaging through merch?
I did go down and pick up one of these new, this is a Champ Vision Sean Potrol's Motorsport collab t-shirt. So I picked one of these up thanks to Mama Shah. So I've got that here in the commentary box. Pretty cool from the SMP team, so Champ Vision and SMP Motorsport doing a collab there. Great to see a lot of clothing brands getting behind a lot of different drivers. So plenty down there in the concourse, Kenny, just because we are about to get to a point where there'll be a little bit of a break in proceedings, so to speak. There'll be the monster trucks, but a great chance to check out the exhibitors down there in the concourse with the trade stands as we wind towards the end of the Pro Sport Top 32. So who is that? Dan Hooker suiting up. It is Dan Hooker suiting up. And is that his bodyguard next to him? Is that his bodyguard next to him? He's brought his muscle with him. That is Kiwi Worker, I believe is his name. Kiwi Worker. He's a very famous man within the TikTok circles. So here we go. Now, which way do you lean here, Kenny? Dan Edwards, Dean Young.
This is a heavyweight matchup. This is a heavyweight matchup for the Pro Sport guys. And look at this act twice. He's straight off the start, bumper to bumper off the start line.
This is the first time that we've really seen anyone create a distance over Dean Young, and we know that Dan Edwards has the speed. Now, what does Dean Young do here as the gauntlet now gets thrown to the Smooth Silver Fox? Dan Edwards doing a nice job. Oh, here comes Dean Young, Mr. Smooth, Mr. Consistent. He is right there. He'll fall back now. Oh, Dean Young's made a mistake. Dean Young just made a slight mistake there. It just didn't quite rotate back to angle as quickly as he wanted to, and that will annoy Dean. Dean will be a little bit frustrating for him, but he comes back. So what he didn't do was he didn't let that shake him, right? He just fell straight back into what he wanted to do. So what you'll see here is it is the first time that Dean's kind of been challenged. Dan Edwards has come out and he's throwing down hard. He knows he's chasing him, right? These guys were 1, 2, 3 last year in the series. Yeah, Dean Young. Yeah, Dean Young, Dan Edwards, Keisuke Nagashima were the 1, 2, 3 last year.
These are the heavyweight front runners of the series, and they are back out.
Now, it's right here. Watch this. It was right here. Watch this.
Yeah, well,
right here. There it is. Straight, yeah.
It's such a small little straight line.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a points deduction for him. But yeah, that's where he tried to claw back track position on the last 2 outer zones. That red mist would have been pumping, and he'll be fuming with that.
Well, I'm sort of the other. I don't think Dean Young did the red mist. I think Dean Young knew he made a mistake, but he knew it's Dan Edwards. I've got to get straight back onto it, and he just came straight back at him. He didn't let it impact what he did. He knew he made a mistake, and now he's going to come out. Now he's going to throw down. Now he's going to say, Dan Edwards, okay, here we go. Maybe I handed you a little bit of rope, but what are you going to do with it, right? Are you going to force the advantage home? Or have I got enough here in the tank to drive away from you and force you into a mistake? And maybe Dan Edwards shortcuts a track or something. But Dan Edwards going, and these two are so comfortable, Kenny. And this is where it happened before.
Different approach for Dan Edwards.
Yeah, very different line.
Shot up through a midline, but did he run over the ripple strip there? But
I think I'm leaning towards Edwards. Oh, look at that. So close.
Bumper to bumper action. GT radial replay, Dan Edwards falling into the pocket. So in terms of lead for lead, Dean Young doing a slightly different approach through the first 3 outer zones. It was outer zone 3 where he really started to shine up on the wall, but through here, the back section from OZ5 is where some of the dicey drama has been happening, and Daniel Edwards taking a much different approach in his chase run through the setup zone. I don't think that ripple strip was going to be too much because he's committed to that chase position that he was in. So there's a little bit of leeway for the chase car in certain areas, but certainly not the lead.
I genuinely don't know. I mean, which way do you lean there?
It's pretty tight.
So close. I would not want to be a judge. It wouldn't in the least surprise me if we actually had another one more time.
For me, it's the little straight line from Dean Young, and then the way that he approached the first 3 outer zones on his lead run could be a deciding factor.
So we are just waiting to see how the judges slide. Where do the lights go? Are we going to talk to the... No, they're deliberating. So what? Yeah, so the more we see of this, the more I think that they don't have a result just yet. What's happening? It is going to be Dan Edwards. Dan Edwards gets the win. Benkai Bruin called her one more time.
So it was a 2-1. One of the judges called it one more time, but man, you were just on it today, Dan.
I'm honestly feeling really, really good in the car today, so hopefully we can keep it up and take it all the way. That's what we're here for.
Mate, the battle for first and second, Gary gets me. Lots of trucks before that, no doubt.
I didn't hear you on that, so
get out of here. Get out. All right. Oh, well, battle for third and fourth, mate. It's been as good. It's good, still going.
Yeah, it's happy as, man. Happy as. Hey, how good?
Well, you could end up in leading the championship after this weekend.
Hopefully, it should be a good point haul.
Where do you think you went wrong in that couple of straight lines?
Yeah, I had a bit of a whoopsie on my chase coming out of the teardrop. I think I may have done a little straight line there. Didn't reboot it fast enough.
All right, mate, get out of here. Good luck in third and fourth.
One of the things I've really picked up, Kenny, as we talk about this being a development series, is how good the drivers have become at focusing in on the things that they've done within a run rather than whatever the judges may have done or whatever the other cars done. It's become very, very good to watch how these guys are developing.
That's one of the things about driver development in drifting, right? First and foremost, at a grassroots level, it's actually, you know, you take the tandems out of it, you're actually trying to beat yourself.
Yes.
You're trying to improve every run. And then when you start getting into tandem stuff and team drifting and stuff like that, it's all about being in unison and doing focusing on that emulation to the lead car. And yeah, it's one of those unique sports where you really want to better your own score first.
All right, is Curtis Lilly going back to a battle for the podium, or is Jason Wu going to the podium for the first time? Jason Wu leads him away. Curtis Lilly in the chase position. Jason Wu nice and smooth, nice and flowing, just doing what he's been doing all day. Again, it looks like a nice, smooth, controllable run from the Wuro fighter. I think Curtis has bitten off too much of the inside there, Kenny. I don't know why he's suddenly changed his line to firing up the inside there, and he's been doing it against the faster cars. I don't think he needs to do it with the... We know that car has grip, and we know that it has a lot of forward momentum. He's run a wheel off the inside there too, so there'll be a deduction for that from Curtis Lilly.
Perhaps the grip level has changed from, or they've dialed a little bit too much in terms of an evolving setup as he progresses through the battle tree.
Well, Stephen talked about that earlier, right? The cloud cover and the way the conditions might come into play later on.
Certainly with a little bit more wind today and as well as the track rubbering up as well. Those are some of the factors that the guys in pit lane think about when they're setting up these cars. And certainly more so heading into the Pro Championship tonight.
I've heard a Formula D judge describe it before, and it's hard to put into context until you simply say, well, as a chase car, when you dive across like that, you're actually covering the effectively 5 to 10 meters less than the lead car, because you come, and that's why they judge it as harshly as they do, because you are shortcutting off a run, right? Which means you're using less tyre, you're covering less of the track, and it is effectively.
It's one of those split-second decisions as a chase driver, is that you always have the dynamic of the qualifying line that you can fall back on. And sometimes you can trap yourself if you don't have the right car pace or you don't get the right start. And sometimes as a chase driver, you've actually got to fall back on the judge's line that they were asking for, and not lock yourself out of a better score by just trying to attain proximity that is by shortcutting, and because you just end up hurting yourself.
So here we go as they switch over. Curtis Lilly has the lead. What does Jason Wu do in the chase? Jason Wu's Curtis Lilly tags the wall, and that does impact his line, and then he just about does it again. I don't think he quite hit it the second time, but it definitely corrected his momentum the first time, Kenny, and the judges have said, we don't want you doing that. You need to run around. You need to be 150 millimetre off. So I think we've got one mistake in the chase, and then maybe a mistake there in the lead from Curtis Lilly. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to bag on the guy. I'm just trying to pick these runs apart. Because, Jason Wu, massive straight line. Jason Wu with a mistake. Is it to do with what's happened there from the lead run, or is there something that's gone on for Jason Wu? So there's a lot to look at going on here, Kenny, as we get through the top 4 of the D1NZ Pro-SPORT. Now, Curtis Lilly definitely tagged the wall there. It impacted his line. I don't think he hit the wall there. Then he comes back through here. Wu slides up onto him. Curtis Lilly cranks it out. Nice and smooth. Now
He's settled in a bit more up the back end of the circuit.
Yeah. Now through here is Jason Wu's something here. It's there. It's flat. Yes, flat.
Straight.
Very flat.
Tightened up on him, so that's quite a big points deduction there for Jason Wu.
All right,
Dan the Hangman in the house.
All right, let's just wait for results to come through and see who's going to the final and who's going to third versus fourth. Going to the final is Curtis Lilly going to the final. Curtis Lilly to the final, and Jason Wu to third versus fourth.
How about this? Smile still there. It gets bigger.
Mate, here we are again. Every time I think, I'm just going to go have some fun and see what I can do, here we are. We're back in going for the finals again. It's like, man, I'm pumped. I'm just no expectations, and I just keep trying to send it what the judges want.
Can you just bottle some of that enthusiasm, please?
Oh, dude, honestly, to be fighting for the win two times is, there's no words that can explain it. It's why the smile is just as big as it gets, dude.
Love it. Go get it.
Thanks, mate.
Just quickly talk to Jason Will, because we've got a special guest out there with Troy Jenkins at the moment. Jason Will. Well, unfortunate.
Yeah, but had a fun day today, so everybody fully committed. So yeah, good day today. Yeah.
Well, good points, all man. And can I just say, it's been a long time I've seen you. You're looking good out there.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll try harder.
All right, still got your battle for third and fourth. Don't forget about that. Okay, okay, that's good. All righty, so out on the track at the moment. He's back in right now. Here we go. Are they going to go again? That's Troy Jenkins probably going to go again. He's got Dan the Hangman Hooker in the passenger seat, right? He was supposed to be at UF's 313. Did his hand in. Was going to face Justin Gaithy this weekend. Not going to do it, so he's going to throw himself in again. He doesn't mind. He's smiling. That's good. Let's see if he's smiling after the second one. And that's a dry suit that comes out of there.
Oh, how good is it? 6 feet tall, 155 pounds of Dan the Hangman Hooker out there in the passenger seat with Troy Jenkins.
I was just thinking somehow managed to strap him into the seat.
Oh, look, I think we would find a way, right? If anyone's capable probably of hanging onto a roll cage for an entire lap, it's probably a UFC fighter. Let's have a look. Wait, let's see. There he is, Dan Hangman Hooker, just waving out the window. That's the good arm, obviously. He's waving, he's smiling. Actually, I would love Stephen McIver to find out what Dan Hooker thinks being in a passenger seat like that and how his brain processes the reactions of the car switching side to side, right? Because as a UFC fighter, he's obviously processing a lot of information. So I'd love to know how Dan Hooker feels about like what Troy's doing, hand, foot, eye, movement, etc. versus the fight game.
Other side. Here we go. The hangman, Dan Hooker. Now, just a couple of things. Kids are listening, and I know what you want to say about that, but how good was that, Dan?
Wow, a lot of expletives, but that was that's incredible. What an adrenaline rush.
Were you a little bit squeamish going into that first corner?
Oh, I loved it, bro. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so that gave me a right foot. I've got maybe a retirement hobby for myself.
Dan Hooker in a drift car, that's something we got to see. Man, sorry that you're up against Gaithy this weekend, man. How was the hand?
No, it's good. I had surgery. In 6 weeks, I'll be back to punching.
Can I just say, we should maybe just call you the madman rather than the hangman?
Bump in the road. This is just a bit of a graze.
Still loving it?
Love it.
You want to go out again, don't you?
I do.
Go, Troy. We've got things to do. Dan, always good to see you, brother. Nice to go. There you go. Dan, the hangman Hooker. Hang on. We haven't spoken to Troy. We'll just quickly bump in here with Troy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Now you can just quickly tell me how many expletives were there in the first run?
Hey, none. He was really calm and collected, but I could see he was energised by it. So no, it was really good to take him out. Obviously, he says he's an adrenaline junkie just like ourselves, so it worked out really nice.
It's important, though, people, to understand how skillful you drivers are, right? That if you want to go drifting, it's a safe sport, but you've got to work at it.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we're pretty safe here. This environment inside the car is pretty damn safe, but no, one of the best rounds to come in the passenger seat with, so stoked to get him in there.
Maybe you could nickname the car the Hangman now, eh?
Oh, there we go. I don't know. I'll probably have to pay him some royalties for that, but anyway, yeah, probably.
No way. He's too nice a guy. Oh, actually, maybe not. Thanks, boys. All right, there you go. The Hangman, Dan Hooker, should have been fighting this weekend against Justin Gaithy in UFC 313. Instead, what's he doing? He's joining here as the D1NZ at Go Media Stadium. How cool is this? Monster trucks coming up. Get ready, Go Media, because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to go out there and just check them out. So you're going to follow me? Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Go and have a look at the trucks.
So that is Kiwi Thunder, Kenny.
An iconic piece of New Zealand motorsport history for sure. It's been fantastic seeing on the social media how many people remember this from their childhood or from many, many years ago.
I think Stephen's on a mission to find the one and only launch master, Willie. But I think Willie, probably like everyone else, has probably got their phones and their cameras out to see what these monster trucks are up to, Kenny. So I think you and I are just going to be fans, aren't we? And we're just going to enjoy the monster trucks as well. 5 ton of...
So I wonder who's up first. I wonder if Kiwi Thunder might get the run first. And certainly, what have they got in store for us? We've got the JDM Reaper S13 as well.
Well, we know the backflip is for Bay Park, right? So there's no backflip, but we know some stuff's getting crushed. I know they race them quite often, so they start opposite each other and then they race. So I think just getting out of the way. So Kiwi Thunder is what we're going to see first. Kiwi Thunder... very famous truck.
Thunder, driven by Darby Dave. It's a 1988 Nissan D21 Navara built in Auckland, toured New Zealand and Australia with foot. That's right. Get this, it runs 66-inch tyres, 500 horsepower, 454 big block Chevy Turbo 4. It's running military different, running two-wheel drive. Then you got the Ford Taurus. A Ford Taurus never looked like that. Vaughn Cox in the seat, built in 1988, originally a Chevy Silverado, now turned into a fiberglass body, rides on 2022 60-inch tires, running a mixture of hybrid military actuals. But hey, how about this one? Doesn't this give you a bit of a scare? This is the Reaper. Dylan Cornfoot's the Reaper driver. also known as the Terra Trip, built in South Africa in 1999. Originally ran a methanol supercharged 1,500 horsepower engine, now running a supercharged Holden LS engine and 60-inch tyres. This is what it's all about. Kiwi Thunder and Taurus are first up. You can see the Taurus backing up onto the line and getting ready to go. We've got to get close to them so we can give them that signal to get underway, and then we'll let you enjoy what they're about to do. What we can tell you, they will race to the bottom, then they'll come back, set themselves up for the jump, and then they'll go again. So it's Taurus against Kiwi Thunder. We've got Nick ready to give them the get-go. The guys will have them look, the sights are ready to get going. Okay, here we go. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, let's go!
You want to talk about Kiwi Thunder, because that is thunder right now out on the track. It sounds incredible out there.
Sorry, I was just having a fanboy moment, Kenny, just thinking, as a 13-year-old, this would just have me absolutely jumping out of my skin. I feel like a kid because I'm eating lollies here. Take a look at this, Kiwi Thunder and Taurus. That is, we've seen the drift cars getting close. We just saw two monster trucks about a foot apart on the main straight.
Was that like a taste of something we might have to bring in the future? Is get some more monster trucks and have a race?
Oh, they're going to chase each other. Oh, they're going to hit the jumps now. Okay, where are the jumps? Where are the jumps? The jumps are in the middle of the track, so keep your eyes on the middle of the track where the cars are, so you can see the ramps. Let's see what's happening here as we go to Stephen.
So, folks, get ready now. Here we go. We're going to see these big boys get over the jumps. They've set them up. They've strapped all the cars together to make sure that they don't come accustomed, if you know what I mean. So, boys, are you ready to go? They're lining up, ready to go, and they'll then take on the jumps. They're looking good. Are we ready over there? Taurus, give me a thumbs up, Taurus. Good to go. Can't see him. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Insane. What? It almost looked like Kiwi Thunder was going to take a tip there.
That was on 2 wheels. That was. Are they just going wherever they want? Is this freestyle now? Can they run over whatever they want?
All right,
So
they're going to go again now,
way.
lads. Here we go. Settle down. Park her up. We're going to go one more time. Make some noise. Go Media. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bring it on!
Kenny, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen at D1NZ. Look at these guys accelerating. He's head on, he's up. Bang, down, squash. What's it going to tip? It's going to tip. No. This is crazy, Kenny.
Well, they've made short work of pancaking some of those cars.
All right, put it together, the Taurus and Kiwi Thunder Go Media Mount Smart. Come on, make some noise because one more to go. Let's see what the Reaper's got for us. Let's go, Reaper. Show us what you got. Here comes the Reaper. 3, 2, 1.
He's crabbing up onto the concrete.
He has crabbed the wall, right? He has crabbed the wall. Now, that is a Sylvia body on a monster truck. Have you ever seen an S13 monster truck before? Who dreams something up like that? McMahon away.
Is this a world first? So we've broken one. We've got some repair work to do before the next show later on this evening.
Well, that's just Mount Smart things, right? That's fine. That's just drift camber, right? He's just got drift camber on the monster truck. Right, here goes Reaper.
That has got to be a challenge to steer.
Oh, look. This is the one that we're going to see doing the backflip at Bay Park. Now, it's got JDM stickers on it. Nothing comes out of JDM that takes anything easy or softly, so who knows what's even going to happen here, Kenny. Yeah, I wonder if the drone can fly through it or under it. I wonder if you can fly the drone under. Can you fly the drone under it? You can fly the drone under it.
Okay.
Ah!
One and two are sitting here at the moment. We need
He's tagged the bonnet.
What am I doing after this? What am I doing after this?
Up it goes. There goes Reaper. Up and over. Just are those.
Is this a world first, like a JDM S13?
I don't know. All those. He just ran over. He just ran over half the section. The cones need a reset. He just ran over the tyres.
Who has been mad enough to let these guys out on the track?
Yeah, Jason from NZKW is looking at his poor sign now that's dead. Here's Reaper again, going back the other way. Oh, it just looks like it wants to tip over. This is just an appetite. This is an appetizer, right? These guys are going to get looser tonight. So this is just a way of showing you guys what you've got to look forward to as we move into the pro battles later on tonight. So plenty more to see here at Go Media Mount Smart. Are they going to do one more? I think he's going one more. I think he's doing one more.
Of course, the question is, will it drift? And I think the Reaper just might.
Clean up on aisle 2, Kenny. Clean up on aisle 2. Oh, it's okay he ran over the NZKW sign because it's on the front of that, on the monster truck, so that's fine. For sale, some used cars. All right, one more time. One more time, Go Media Mount Smart Stadium. Enjoying the monster trucks here. This is the Reaper out of the JDM stable, and up and over it goes. What a display. Mr. McIver, how did that feel down there at ground level?
On May 25, 26 at Bay Park in Mount Maunganui. Sorry, April 25, 26. Is going to attempt their first ever backflip in a monster truck. Give it up for the Reaper, everybody. How good was that? There'll be more a little bit later on here. Or he's just going to keep going. Someone hadn't told him to stop. Maybe the boss can tell him to stop. Don't worry, we'll take a wee break because coming back, oh, bad karma, stuck in the middle. Anyway, stick around. We're going to get ready for the battle for third and fourth and first and second in D1NZ Pro-SPORT. Stay with us live at Go Media Mount Smart.
We get what gets you going. Because while you told her it would be loud, you forgot to mention how it feels. Repco gets you going.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
So the next step was to get this thing on a proper ECU, especially with all the technology that Link has to offer.
Which should give us full communication and full control over all the sensors.
But so far, being able to log in and review every lap has been a huge plus.
To have Link pull through and step up for us and just help us out to be able to all pull it together.
That's all he needs. Simple, cheap, easy, works, good ECU, weatherproof.
It's got enough IOs too, like we're doing tons of stuff. Oil, fuel pressure, boost control.
All those features I have thanks to Link ECU.
Time now. It's championship time in the pro sport position here in D1NZ, live from Go Media Stadium and Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau. Weather seems to be coming in and we might get a dry one. Here's hoping. So they're going to start scrubbing. The battle for third and fourth. Jason Wu starting the scrub. He's up against Dean Young. Should be an absolute cracker. Boys, let's get going because this has got better and better as the competition has rolled on.
Shout out to Bold Signage and Graphics. Thank you, boys, for supporting the #1 qualifier for our pro sports. So there's a nice little view of some Bold signage there right on your back. That's a fantastic haircut there, sir. Right here at Mount Spartan Stadium. Yeah, that's you guys. You can wave. You're on camera. There you go. There was a nice little shout out to Bold, and they didn't even wave back at me. Anyway, we're at the business end, Kenny. Third and fourth. Dean Young. Pretty simple equation for him. Win it, come third, potentially go out of here leading the championship. Dan Edwards, Curtis Lilly, both of those two can also lead the championship going out of here. So a lot to play for the top drivers. Jason Wu, he's a little bit further down the table, but he can certainly jump up into that top three as well in terms of overall season podium. And that is the most international driver thing ever. If you've ever been to Ian Baker's World Time Attack Challenge or anything like that, you'll know the Japanese drivers love to go to sleep. You filmed them, didn't you, Kenny? Yeah, they have the power nap with the helmet on. They nap in the Hans device. Yeah.
Nap in the car, and it's like 10-20 minutes. Recharges the batteries. Oh, was I not on there?
No, you hadn't switched back on post your water break, so there we go. Kenny's back. But yes, the Japanese drivers too tend to sleep with their helmets and harnesses on. Now, what does Dean Young do here? Is it a Dean Young, the tight run again? These are two drivers who are both on form right at the moment. Jason Wu, there's a little, I can see a little waver in the Wu car that time. It didn't look as settled as it has the past few times. Maybe he knows he's just got that faster wolf chasing him this time. Dean Young is a different type of animal to try and take on here, and he is here looking to go out of Mount Smart round 3 as the current series leader with Corbin Wilson on the trailer early. It is all to play for here in the Pro Sport Development Series. Dean Young, Jason, they contact after the line.
Dean Young switching back. Of course, the chase car is allowed to drop back after the last outside zone just to avoid that kind of stuff. But of course, these guys were committed all the way through. And Jason Wu has been sort of setting the same line pretty much for most of his runs from yesterday and today. So it's been really interesting to watch. Consistency is key in most sports, especially motorsport, especially drifting, where I think the consistent laps from Jason Wu have earned him the spot in the finals here for round 3. Dean Young lurking on the back.
Yeah, let's see what actually happens here. Does Jason get out of it, and Dean's just carrying that much momentum, he just kind of ended up beside him. I know there are other sports where that would actually be, I mean, you could even go down the route of impacting results for hitting after a runner's technique. Now, why is that gap there? What, was Jason Wu sleeping?
He might have been caught on the line.
Yeah,
but I was just about to mention, like, just how fast is Dean Young going to throw down on his lead, because he's been doing some pretty spectacular runs so far this afternoon. Jason Wu now trying to get into the pocket.
Yeah, Jason's been smart though. He stayed out wide. He hasn't fallen into that trap we saw earlier of a couple of drivers sort of dove across the track there. Jason Wu doing the right things here, and is Jason Wu potentially on for a podium, or will it be Dean Young again? Both drivers driving aggressively. Dean Young going to close it out. A little bit of a waver in the lead there from Young, but not enough to impact on the chase car at all. And do we actually get the result of this one, or do we just get told there is a result and it's announced on the podium? What happens with the top 4? Do we announce 3 and 4, or do we just get a result?
I think we can announce 3 and 4.
We can, okay. All right.
Rip into the interview.
Well, I imagine it's just going to come up on the screen, and Stephen will get the words or thoughts.
Now, I'm just hearing over race radios a little bit of a light shower coming through now, so that could play a big impact on the final battle here for the Pro Sport 235 class.
All right, so we are going to get a result lock in here, and we're going to let Stephen do this one, I think.
Dean Young, congratulations. P3 for round number 3. You'll take that?
I'll take it, man. Super happy. 3rd podium in a row. Keep on keeping on, man.
All right, you get a chance to spray some champagne a little bit later. Keep your car close by.
Awesome, bro. Thank you.
All right, let's go talk to Jason, who has had a great run. Really great run, but maybe a little bit of a slip up on that line. Pretty slow off the line on the chase.
Yeah, I didn't do very well, yeah. But, yeah, I try harder, maybe more practice on the battles.
Hey, mate, P4 finish. You've got to be stoked with that.
Getting better, so hopefully do well next time.
Getting better. You're getting more than better. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, now it's the battle for 1 and 2. Edwards, Lily, who's it going to be?
Stuff here from Dean Young and Jason. Jason Wu finishing 4th, and Dean Young taking 3rd place on the podium.
So well done, Stephen McIver, just down there on the line, grabbing the words of wisdom, and it is starting to rain, Kenny. There is a light shower coming through just as we go to the final. Daniel Edwards, Curtis Lilly, both of them have the ability to potentially be leading the series after this final. Coming in, Curtis Lilly was in 3rd, Daniel Edwards was in 6th. How does this play out? There is 100 points on the line for the final. It is 80 points for 2nd, and I think 68 for 3rd. So they are doing a sight lap. They're going to do a sight lap. It is a safety thing, and I'd imagine that will also mean that if the precipitation stays, we may have the pros come out and sight lap as well.
Yeah, so what we tend to do is when the track conditions change, instead of using the scrub box, we are able to send the cars out for a sight lap, and they're able to scrub the cars out on the track just so they can get a feel of the grip level as it's changing. So some drama already heading into the final battle. We've been in the dry all afternoon, and a little bit of skatey shower precipitation has joined the party.
I think they're just going to send it. I don't think they're going to. Yeah, I don't think they're.
So they are going to.
No sight. So the drivers have turned it down. The drivers turned the sight lap down. They must feel that it's dry enough, and it is Dan Edwards sending it for core civil construction. Out front it is Dan Edwards creating a gap over Curtis Lilly for Carter's, your building partner, around the Drift Japan. Wall ride they come. Through NZKW they go. They'll go out to the UDC outer zone. Both drivers doing nice and tidy runs here. Curtis Lilly, the Carter's, your building partner car, closing up on the poor civil construction. Dan Edwards entry. Very different approaches through the middle part there, Kenny. Dan Edwards out front doing a good job at Curtis Lilly. He is right there with him. He's put the pressure on for this final.
Daniel Edwards, Curtis Lilly, what a great start to the final battle here the Pro Sport Restricted Class. You'll see that Curtis Lilly had a moment in the rear there. He didn't quite get the car settled off the start line, so he was all crossed up down the front straight. Daniel Edwards just leading out with the wipers on.
Did he
both of them just throwing away the scrub lap that was offered and decided to go full send. Curtis Lilly trying to get into the pocket from OZ5. Here's the setup zone that has been so crucial this weekend. And Curtis, like as you alluded to, just completely different line approach than what Daniel Edwards was doing in the lead.
Yeah, he just flicked it earlier, didn't he? He just flicked it earlier and chopped across, as opposed to what we've sort of seen them all doing all day, which is going to be interesting. What I was going to bring up there was just I did wonder if Curtis Lilly left outer zone 1 early just to try and close up that gap. Possibly came off the fence a little bit earlier, but hey, I'm not one of the 3 wise men, so my opinion doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's see what Daniel Edwards does in the chase position. He is definitely closer to start the run than Curtis Lilly was. Both sort of similar proximity to the wall through the first outer zone there. They'll go through and go out to UDC outer zone number 5. Edwards, messy.
Edwards pushed there,
yeah.
like he washed a little bit wider and he's trying to recover it out of it.
Chopped it back down.
He's now trying to get back up on the door, claw back some track position. Curtis Lilly, has he done enough, or is Daniel Edwards going to drive this home?
Oh, he tags the wall. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, your Pro Sport finalists. Curtis Lilly, Dan Edwards. Let's take a look at this
front wheel drag from Lilly as he fired it through the first outer zone.
So I think, Dan's definitely closer, but then Dan's issue was out here in UDC when he's got up here. And it's just, he's sort of almost just got unsettled a little bit and done some different things to what he'd done before, and it just caused a little bulk in the car. He gave it a little steering input, and then he went straight to that inside dive, whereas he's been on what we call the pro line, right? That he and Dean and a few of the others
there
have
was
been on.
There was a short handbrake dab from the lead car as well, right when Dan started to push wider, and then he had to recover out of it. Of course, it was a little bit skatey with all the rubber build-up out there as well. And of course, when you push wide, you also end up in the marbles, which can get a bit dicey.
Well, Dan's out of the car already. Look at the smile on Curtis Lilly's face. They're happy boys, Stephen. They're happy boys.
Well, why wouldn't you be happy? Round 3 of D1NZ here at Go Media Stadium, and we're not going to tell them who won. We're going to ask them how they thought about it, because we're going to take them down to the podium and tell them who won. So just don't look at me like that. So, yes, you're going to drag it out. Yeah, yes, we're going to drag it out. But, we might even go OMT again. You don't know. So we can't just rush. And guess what? The judges are looking at the replays. So who knows? So let's how good are the smiles here today? Curtis, let's talk about you first of all. Talk about the run. What do you make of it?
I was just saying to Dan, I was so impressed with the rain coming down and how Dan come in there and just controlled the car with being a slick track. It made it so nice to chase, and I enjoyed battling him. So absolutely had so much fun in that last battle. I was able to really put it close on his door and trust him as being a good driver, and man, it was so much fun. I had so much fun in that last battle.
Okay, so much fun was the key phrase here. Did you have as much fun?
Oh, I always have fun doing the sport. It's amazing. And I shouldn't really say this, but I jammed in first gear by accident. Yeah, and then I had to quickly jam the handbrake and then jam it in third again. But no, we got it, and it's gone real slick. I wasn't expecting it straight off the bat, but
okay, can I just jump in? Breaking news, boys, get back in the cars. You're going again. No, wow. I'm not joking.
So one
judges
more time.
want one more time, baby, in the Pro Sport final. Hey, language. We can lip read. You go. You said so much fun, and all the crews were up here. Have a look at that. Look at all the crews were up here. So they've gone, oh, heck, we've got to go again. So we're going again, the Pro Sport final team.
Well, Warren, it was drama to start with the rain. They both went out. The judges couldn't separate them. While they were being interviewed, we saw the judges watching their own replays on the DSO system, and they've obviously called one more time.
And I'm not surprised, because I think both drivers, compared to the runs we've seen earlier from both drivers comparatively side by side, look at how serious they are. The party has left well, Tony's still having a good time. Ben Kai looks like he is just deep in thought, meditating, and Matt Kwok's just going, I could buy that one, I could buy that one, I could buy that one. I'd rather be driving. Boys, what was I guess the defining factor there in being unable to separate the cars? Are you able to shed some light on how that decision was reached at all?
Yeah, so for myself in the chase, unfortunately, Curtis's initial entry in the chase was almost inactive, so he had quite a big deduction for that because there was quite a big gap until the end of the first zone. But then unfortunately, Dan made some quite big errors down the back as well. And they did the same amount of errors as far as like my deductions were concerned, so it was a one more time.
Yeah, and for me, I had them at Dan 1-1-2, and then I had Curtis 2-1-1, different sections, but obviously we don't like one more times, but when it's that close, it's the right call.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone, boys, would fault you on seeing good driving again, right? Like, this is literally minor deductions that are going on because you guys are being asked to separate something that is such a high level, right? These guys are making very minor mistakes. They're very minor deductions you guys are judging them on.
Yeah, very much so. And I just want to say a quick shout out to those two boys. We actually offered them a sight lap, and they both just wanted to send it even though the rain was coming down. So picked up their plums and really sent it in there, so that was awesome.
Boys, while the replay is actually on, can you see this on the screen? Are you able to talk us through where those deductions may have been? Is that a way that we can maybe get an insight into the judge's mindset or where you've seen these 2-1-1s? Or?
Yeah, 100%. The actual replay is looking really horrible on the screen right now. It looks like the signal's not really working.
So no is the answer
there.
Yeah,
so
you can't help me. All
so
right,
no,
thank you, boys.
no is the answer.
The big screen. I don't think they've got comms to the separate operator that's upstairs. So.
My apologies,
okay,
boys.
I can talk you through the replay on the live stream, definitely.
Yeah,
so,
let's just do that.
If we just rewind that, for sure.
If we're able to do that. If we're able to do that, I think I saw contact after the checkered flag too, Tony Gallagher, in speedway terms. That's obviously a no-no, but. All right, Tony, show me where you picked things up here.
Well, I actually went in favour of Danny Woods. I was, for me, just to give my result, I guess, from a style point of view, you can see the lack of proximity there from Curtis through that first corner. Dan certainly had a lot more proximity through most of the section, really, and a lot of the judging from a style perspective, to me, from a battle and impressiveness from watching, has been from that. But I'll quickly chuck it to Benkai because this is where the mistakes start coming from, these two boys.
So Curtis's biggest mistake was obviously in the entry, and he was actually quite good and smooth through here, right? So this area, and you pay attention to this soon because this is where I'll show you the mistakes with Dan, right? But there was a small mistake, but it was also an adjustment for the switch through. So it wasn't actually deduction because it was smooth and it was good. And you can see he's nice and consistent around the end, right? All good. So everything's looking sick. There was a lot of awesome action there. But if we just run that back again, oh no, we're watching this one now. So if we look at Dan's chase, right, coming through here, Dan's very, very clean through here. He's got way more proximity in the start of the course than what Curtis had. Through this switch here, it's really close and tight, and he's managed to stick all the way onto Curtis the whole way around the corner. But right there is an error, then another error, and another error. So there's 3 minor errors in that whole run. And that, for me, was enough for him to have the same amount of deductions as the errors, or as the deductions that I gave Curtis for being almost inactive in the start and having a huge gap.
Oh, thank you so much. Anything you wanted to add there, Mac, or you're pretty relaxed about things?
No, I'm pretty good with it. Mine were so minor, like at the end of that, they were both 96-point runs. So I was very happy with it, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, so thank you so much. So those are our 3 wise men, Benkai Bruin, Tony Gallagher, Matt Kwok. Over 70 years of experience in judging motorsport between the 3 of them. So it's a horrible stat to throw up there, but that's how much wisdom is in those heads.
Yeah, of course, and of course with the new scoring systems, during the battles, there's effectively 300 points on offer now across from the 3 judges. So they might, for some old school fans of drifting, where it used to be scored out of 10 or 10-0 or 10, you know, or out of 100, it's 300 points on offer now across the 3 judges, and that gives us our final scoring. So it's been super interesting seeing how the new system works, and certainly we've been throwing up some pretty crazy battles here with the commitment that the judges are asking for now this season, and the finer points that they're bringing into the layouts. They move clipping points. It's an evolving thing, and yeah, it's been crazy to watch just. Them trying to challenge the older layouts that we used to run in years gone by, and for the first time we've seen 8 outside zones here at Mount Smart.
So let's hold that thought, Kenny, as we take a look at Bay Park Mount Bay Park round number 5, and X-Air returning for 2025.
Stephen to Brendan.
So X-Air returning as we see the Scrubbing Solutions machine out on track doing a cleanup. Thank you so much to Scrubbing Solutions for providing us
get it out of there
with a scrubber for the weekend to keep our track surface in tip-top
it's
condition.
in your way, right?
X-Air Kenny, Bay Park, Anzac weekend. You and I will be down there at the final round, crowning a champion. X-Air is a separate event,
if we get this
venue,
over done with the podium, now with the podium,
D1NZ's final round for 2025, some of the biggest
send them back down towards it, or what?
athletes in the world.
Yeah, it's good to see X-Air back in New Zealand, and certainly go check out X-Air on Instagram and check out all the socials and just see some of the great athletes that are lining up to compete here in New Zealand this year. Anzac weekend as part of the D1NZ Grand Final. There will be tickets on sale very soon, and there will be a mega pass. You'll be able to access all areas of the events that are happening. You've got drifting, you've got BMX, you've got scooters, you've got the big air comps. It's going to be fantastic to watch. I mean, the skateboarding, last time we ran X-Air at Bay Park was fantastic, and I managed to sneak away that event and go watch some of that. So, yeah, certainly good stuff.
I don't even mind admitting that I quite enjoy the scooters. I feel like it's quite childish, but I actually really enjoy the scooters.
It's pretty insane what some of those guys can do.
Yeah. Mostly because I can't ride a skateboard, right?
I certainly cannot ride a skateboard.
I can't ride a skateboard at all. For the somebody described it to me once as being like an elephant on a roller skate, is what it looks like. It's not attractive at all. But here we go. We're going to go one more time final. We can see Dan Edwards. We can see Curtis Lilly. They are locked in, so they are about to go one more time. Course Civil on the side of Dan Edwards' machine. Stock Street Automotive. We can see Rock Armour New Zealand, Bold Signs, Bistro. What else is on there? I'm just trying to pick them off as we go. FP Design, Carter's Building Partners, Megan Tibb.
Oh!
He's rubbing him! He is rubbing on him. Curtis, now that has upset Curtis Lilly. That was a late initiation from Curtis Lilly. I think
I wonder if he's giving them the push, giving him a bit of a nudge, like knock, I'm here, straight off the line.
Well, if you want to put pressure on your opponent, that's what you do, right? It used to be a speedway thing. You'd go and knock into the guy in front of him and say, hey, I'm here, just to try and unsettle him. But I think it may have locked in, and it may have thrown Curtis Lilly off, because I don't think he was carrying the same normal speed as he would be. So it'll be interesting to see if the judges do deduct anything for that, because it did. Now, they did say earlier on that you can be later on your initiation, but the question is, how late can you be? So let's have a look at the replay here. Yeah, came in a little bit.
We missed the touchy at the start, but certainly not the best snappy committed entry. But of course the track conditions have changed. There's a little bit skatey out there. There's a bit of a temp drop off as well. But check this out from the second half of the battle. You got Curtis Lilly just lurking in the back there. Daniel Edwards doing a great job trying to fill this outer zone, but then he cut in a little bit, switched perhaps a little bit off from where we wanted to see. But you see that transition there, and I think I'm not sure if that was slowed down a little bit, but a lot of left foot brake. He was actually sort of washing a bit, and he had to use a little bit of left foot to keep the car where it needed to be. So that was super interesting from Daniel Edwards out in the lead.
So we have to have a result off this, is that correct, Kenny? So,
yes, so
we can only have a single OMT. So we have to have a result off this battle. Do you know what I would love? I would love for the crowd at Mount Smart to be on their feet for this final, because we are getting a result off this. So stand up and applaud as these guys come back around. They put on a hell of a show to get us to this point in the afternoon. This is the D1NZ round number 3 from Mount Smart Go Media Stadium. We are about to find out who is going to lock in first place, who is going to come in second for the round. So one of these guys potentially going to lead the series going out of here, and someone is going home with their first place trophy for for this season. We haven't had either of these two wins so far, so someone is going home with a round victory for the first time for 2025. And here we go with Lily and Dan Edwards. Again, Kenny, a pretty like-for-like start off to this run here. But here comes Dan Edwards. Dan Edwards definitely closing up that proximity. He definitely seems to be able to shoot up there and maintain that gap between he and Curtis Lily. And here comes Dan Edwards. Again, a similar type of waiver though from the front end of the car. And what will happen as they close out this run? Here they go for the final time around the NZKW, around the Repco wall ride. Curtis Lily a little bit shallow there. Stand and applaud, ladies and gentlemen, for your Pro Sport finalists.
What a run. What a run for the final. It is sudden death, so we have to find a result. Here is the GT Radial replay, the final lap of the Pro Sport 235 class this afternoon, and I think there was a bit more commitment there from Lily in terms of lead for lead, chase for chase, but it opened the door for Daniel Edwards to really get in the pocket. But this is where things go wrong again. Yet again, it's outside zone 5 where a lot of the mistakes are happening, and that surge, that attack from the chase car could be a factor in the final judges' decisions, because there was a few little steering inputs there that Daniel had to make to keep that car where it needed to be. Curtis Lily just surging and lurking in the body language of the car out in front.
All right, so I think I've got to go and join Stephen to do the podium now, Kenny, for Pro Sport. So I'll leave you here to be in charge of the action as we hand out some silverware for round number 3 of the D1NZ from Go Media Mount Smart Stadium.
Of course, Dean Young and Jason Wu were our third and fourth matchup. Dean Young taking third place. Judges looking at more replays. It is sudden death. They've got to find a decision out of this. For me, it's outside zone 5 is the crucial part of the layout this weekend and the entry. So I'll await the judges' decision as we get ready for the podium for the 235 restricted class, and a little taste of Pro Championship action now as we take a look at a test lap here from the South Island pilot of the NASCAR V8 TRD machine, Johnny Latham, in that NASCAR V8 powered BMW representing the South Island. Great to have Johnny Latham back in the mix, and certainly out there loving a little bit of limiter. Of course, that car runs nitrous oxide as well, as do many other Pro Championship cars. So looking forward to seeing the 265 semi-slicks hit the track in about an hour's time, and that is when we will see the likes of Laurie Heinonen, your Drift Masters champion from last year, here in New Zealand, having a taste of Kiwi drifting for the first time. I expect an army of Finnish fans to start waking up and logging into the live stream at about 5 o'clock. As our finalists come out for round 3 of the restricted class, heading to the podium. Daniel Edwards there in the Core Civil 180 SX. Dean Young, Watson Haulage S13. There's Curtis Lilly, Friends Motorsport. Of course, do follow your favourite drivers, search them up on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and Facebook. Plenty of behind the scenes action posted to these stories, reels, as well as get all the latest updates from the competition as we head towards the next round at Manfield Raceway, Manfield Circuit Chris Amon in Fielding, which will be the longest track of the season. This is the shortest track here tonight, just over 700 metres. And the short track stuff is super technical, especially this layout here at Mount Smart. Lots of outside zones, and despite it being short and despite it being technical, it's full throttle, full commitment. So a lot of wheel work, a lot of right foot.
at the end of the Pro Sport Championship, round number 3 for the D1NZ Championship. Go Media, come on, give all these boys a big round of applause. They've put on a show, haven't they? Come on! Well, she's a bit quiet here in the mighty Auckland today, but we have to find out who our winner is of Pro Sport. And your winner in round number 3 in Pro Sport is Curtis Lilly! Congratulations, mate. You win the round. The smile is still there.
Oh, mate, for this round have haunted me for 2 years after my crash into that very wall there. To come back and to get on the podium and win against so many of the respected drivers that I've had to come up against tonight, or this afternoon, should I say? I'm so pumped.
Congratulations, mate. Go get ready for the podium. We'll get Dan in here because I know he's definitely disappointed. Hey, mate. Well, yeah, we all want to win, pal, but you've just had such a great run today. Can I just say the car looks in mint condition, by the way?
Yeah, thankfully, actually. I haven't managed to hit any walls today, so it's looking great.
For those that have been watching the smoke show here, how challenging is this track for any driver?
Oh, it is challenging. Once you've sorted yourself out and picked up your balls a bit for the walls, it flows real nice the way the layout is. But I've got no clutch left, and this track's hard on the clutch and hard on the gear, and we'll be back.
You will be. Thanks for the entertainment, mate. One final thought from Dean Young, who picked up P3. Mate, congratulations. You've had such a great day. I think Smile, yeah, there we go. There's the Dean Young fan club over there. Smiling has been the main thing about everybody today. It's been just such a good day's racing so far, and we've still got Pro to come.
How do you wipe a smile off the face when you're in third place? Stoked as, another podium, happy as. I don't know where we are in points at the moment. Curtis will get a pretty good haul out of this, but super stoked, man.
You must be pretty stoked too. Late call, Watson haulage on the side of the car.
Yeah, late call, Watson haulage. He's over there somewhere. Thank you, Breather. And obviously everyone else, family, friends. I got so much support behind the scenes, man. It's awesome.
Good luck, mate. Go and get ready for the podium. All right. Let's get ready for the podium. It'll be 3, 2, 1, and then the boys can spray some champagne. Trophies today presented by Keith Lewis and Lance Hasty from D1NZ. So here we go. Make some noise, folks. In third position in the Watson Haulage S13, Dean Young. And in second position in the Core Civil Construction 180SX, give it up for Daniel Edwards. And your round 3 champion here at Go Media Mount Smart Stadium in the Carter's Building Partners S14. You know him, you love him. He's got a smile as wide as a doll. Here he is, Curtis Lilly. And that, folks, is your official Pro Sport podium for round number 3 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. So, Warren says, joins me out of the booth up there. We're looking right up there. Hey, mate, I've got to say, Pro Sport gets bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. They have put on a hell of a show today.
Development what? These guys are as good as anything we're going to see tonight. All of these guys are ready to step up. Now, how good was that final? And Curtis Lilly going at number 1 after going number 2 last round. Just such a perfect way to finish off a great day here at Mount Smart.
There's some young kids out there, young Ryan, McEwen, and 15-year-old against Dean Young, you know, bashing up on a 15-year-old. But boy, didn't look out of place. And you guys thinking, oh, has he lost his rotation? He just got excited.
Yeah. I actually think I genuinely saw his heart beating out of his chest as he was talking to you, Steve. He was trying so hard just to get the right words out as he was trying to tell his story to you. What a job those young kids did just telling their stories to you, though. Every single one of them got it right. They got those sponsor plugs in. Development, nothing. These guys are good.
Actually, we've got one thing wrong. Gentlemen, spray some champagne. I know you've been waiting. Don't be polite. Spray that champagne. Gosh, they are polite, aren't they?
Well, they are, and I do know one thing. I do know that Curtis just mentioned to me that he did forget to thank someone special, that he needed to maybe grab a microphone and try and say something to someone if possible. I don't know if we can do that or not.
Is it legal?
It is legal. It's completely legal. Curtis, did you still want the microphone?
No, he doesn't. We'll leave him alone. He's having too much fun. All right, we're heading towards 5 o'clock live on Sky Sport and on New Zealand KO in Australia, and of course Oversteer TV on YouTube. And we go into the pros. Jeremy Slamet, first ever P1, Q1, P1. And boy, we are so excited about this, aren't we?
Yeah, New Caledonia represent Jeremy Slamet in the house. Jeremy Slamet actually is the youngest ever drift event winner in New Zealand as well. He won MSC at age 13. So to see him now step into pro, qualifier number 1, he could be on for a real result here tonight. And guess what? Teammates qualifying in 2nd and 3rd position as well. JDM 1, 2, 3 locking out qualifying.
Yeah, and of course Lodi Heinonen, Drift Masters GP champion in the house as well. And boy, was he sending it last night. All right, we're going to have a break, folks. There's going to be some side laps, maybe some parade laps, whatever. Go get yourself some drink. We're back at 5 o'clock with the pro section of D1NZ live from Go Media Stadium, Auckland.